इसको ऐसा ही बोल सकते हो, नोटिस ऑफ स्क्रूटिनी। 143 ऑर्डर। अरे वेरी गुड, फिर आगे। नितिन यू आंसर। रिटर्न ऑफ लॉस। ये बड़ा नहीं, मजा नहीं आया। वापस बोलो। स्पेसिफिक डेट क्या होता है? अप टू द ड्यू डेट ऑफ फाइलिंग रिटर्न। मतलब ड्यू डेट तक फाइल नहीं किया, टाइम पे नहीं फाइल किया तो लॉस कैरी फॉर्ड नहीं होगा। इवन इफ द रिटर्न इज फाइल्ड आफ्टर द ड्यू डेट। फिर इफ द डिले इन फाइलिंग द रिटर्न इज ड्यू टू जेन्यून रीजन, तो व्हाट टू डू? आदित्य यू आंसर। सेक्शन 142(2)(a). 142(2)(a). CIT और CCIT। रिक्वेस्टिंग लिख दिया, लफड़ा हो गया ना, इधर डायरेक्ट कर रहे हैं। तो बेस्ट बता रहा हूँ, तुम लोग लर्न कर लो। अगर मैंने कुछ स्टेटमेंट मारा है ना, इतने सालों के एक्सपीरियंस से मारा है। मैंने क्या बोला, पूरा रट डालो, खत्म। जो बोला तुम लोग का भी स्ट्रैटेजी, और मैंने बोला उठ तो उठ, बैठ तो बैठ। ये उठना बैठने का रूल मैंने कैसे बनाया, इतने सालों के एक्सपीरियंस से। तुम पैदा भी नहीं हुए थे तभी से चल रहा है सब। बाय हार्ट कर दो। अभी ये देखो, रिक्वेस्टिंग वर्ड आ गया तो क्या है, इम्पैक्ट खत्म हो जाता है। ठीक है, एग्जाम के दिन याद नहीं आया तो इतना पकड़ के मत बैठो, थोड़ा बहुत अपने लैंग्वेज में करेंगे, बट दैट इज एग्जाम डे सिनेरियो। राइट नाउ योर प्रिपरेशन शुड बी एज इट इज। तो CIT CCIT। ट्रांजेक्शन इन अकाउंट्स। बराबर। एंड मत बोलो, और है इधर। इधर एन वी दमन में से कोई भी एक चीज होना चाहिए। तो अपने एंड लिख दिया तो मीनिंग बदल गया ना। ऐसे लग रहा है कि ये सब होना चाहिए। और इसलिए मैं इंसिस्ट कर रहा हूँ एज इट इज करो। फिर हाँ, फिर तुमने ये नहीं बोला ना वो स्टॉक वैल्यूएशन। बराबर बराबर। फिर अगर ये डायरेक्शन को कंप्लाई नहीं किया तो क्या होगा? और क्या होगा? बेस्ट जजमेंट भी हो जाता है। तो बेस्ट जजमेंट में भी एक सरकमस्टेंस था ना। ये- ऐसे में बेस्ट जजमेंट हुआ तो शो कॉज नोटिस की जरूरत है क्या? शो कॉज नोटिस की जरूरत कब नहीं है? हाँ बरा अंकुर तुम्हारा इनकम एस्केपिंग असेसमेंट का प्रोसीजर 4 स्टेप्स है, 2 स्टेप हम लोग पढ़ लिए। स्टेप 1, नहीं खत्म नहीं हुआ है। स्टेप 1, आफ्टर कंसिडरिंग द रिप्लाई ऑफ द असेसी द एओ शैल पास एन ऑर्डर deciding whether the case should be reopened or not. This order should be passed with the prior approval of additional CIT or JC. And this step 1 is not required if the case is reopened based on faceless collection of information. और वो 3 years का 5 years कब होता है? More than or equal to 50 lakhs. Then second step, नहीं अभी ये सेंटेंस में ऐसा साउंड हो रहा है कि उसको 3 साल 3 महीने रिटर्न भरना है। नहीं सेंटेंस बराबर भराओ। The AO shall issue a notice under section 148 requiring the assessee to file the return. फिर this notice can be issued within 3 years 3 months. अपने को ये जताना है कि 3 years 3 months वो नोटिस भेजने का टाइम है। ये रिटर्न क्यों मंगवा रहे उससे? ये रिटर्न क्यों मंगवाना है? तुमने अगर वीडियो देखा तो मैंने बताया था ना, मैंने कैपिटल गेन छुपाया था, लेकिन कैपिटल गेन छुपाया था, बाकी तो अब दिखाया था रिटर्न में, तो रिटर्न तो भरा ही था। अबे रिटर्न क्यों मांग रहे लोग? क्योंकि जब चोरों को वक्त पे नहीं पकड़ते ना तो उनका केस बंद हो जाता है। बंद केस को खोलते हैं तो पूरा स्क्रैच से चालू होता है। तुम वीडियो नहीं देखे ढंग से? तो थोड़ा ऐसे एक्स्ट्रा नोट्स भी लिख सकते हैं अपना। रिटर्न फाइलिंग का लॉजिक क्या है? बोला था ना, इफ असेसमेंट वाज नॉट डन ऑन टाइम तो उसका फाइल क्लोज हो गया था। अब बंद फाइल को खोलना है तो 0 से चालू होगा बस। ऐसे एक्स्ट्रा नोट्स लिखो, जो काम दिया वो भी करो, खुद का भी एक्स्ट्रा करो, क्योंकि बाद में सोचना चाहिए एग्जाम के दिन याद आना चाहिए। आज जितना फ्रेश है ना, 2-3 महीने के बाद लगे नया टॉपिक है, फिर ऐसा कुछ लिखा हुआ रहेगा तुमको याद आना चाहिए। फिर रिटर्न विल बी फाइल्ड बाय द असेसी विदिन नो विदिन द टाइम स्पेसिफाइड इन द नोटिस। एक्चुअली तो इट डिपेंड्स अपॉन टाइम स्पेसिफाइड इन द नोटिस, but the time specified should not be more than 3 months from the end of the month in which notice was issued. End of the month in which notice was issued. अरे पूनम तुमने होमवर्क किया? नहीं किया? इफ यू डोंट फाइंड टाइम इन डे यू टू स्टील इट फ्रॉम नाइट। अब तुम बोलो नहीं रात को सोना तो पड़ेगा, नहीं। जिस दिन खाना पीना नींद के ऊपर पढ़ाई को रखी ना, उसी दिन सक्सेस अपने कदम चूमती है। वो करना पड़ेगा। ऐसे अपने रीजन लेके बैठ जाएंगे ना, ठीक है, मन अपना मन तो वही है ना, रीजन लेके बैठता है, मैं क्या करूं, मैं तो फंसी हुई हूँ परिवार वरिवार के चक्कर में। करना पड़ेगा। दिन तुम्हारे हाथ में नहीं, रात तो है ना। रात को तो सब सो रहे हैं, तब जागना चाहिए। जब सब सो रहे हम जागते हैं ना, वही भगवान देखता है। करो, ऐसे बिगड़ते जाएगा। मतलब अभी करना, 2-3 दिन से लगातार कॉन्सिक्यूटिव डिफॉल्ट हो रहे हैं। कल दिखाना मेरे को सब बराबर से। अभी तुमको पूछू भी कब, देखो टाइम भी खत्म हो गया। Okay, check the answer to homework question. Question 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 was homework. See, in question 5, what was given? Rajan filed his return for the previous year 25-26 on 5th December 2026. His return was processed under section 143.1. What is 143.1? Summary assessment. And an intimation for the same was received on 12th Feb 27. See, intimation can be sent till 9 months from the end of the return is filed. But that is the maximum time. He got the intimation on 12th of Feb only. Okay, then on 22nd June 27, he received a notice under section 143.2. What is notice under 143.2? It is called notice for regular assessment or notice of scrutiny. Notice of scrutiny, requiring him to attend the office of AO. Now, Rajan seeks your advice as to whether he should respond to the notice, as his assessment for 25-26 is already completed. You know what is the thinking of Rajan? That since I have got the intimation, that means my summary assessment is done. Now, what is this nonsense of sending notice? Why are they doing regular assessment when my assessment is already done in summary assessment manner? I also got the intimation. Then why are they doing regular assessment? So answer should be what? Dear, summary assessment is as good as no assessment. Even though you received the intimation, even though your summary assessment is done, but summary assessment is as good as no assessment. It's mere processing of returns. This dialogue you should always write. It is as good as no assessment. It's mere processing of return. And scrutiny can be initiated even after summary assessment. And anyway, see in my notes, see how I have given, read here. In my notes, didn't I say it is plus? Plus means what? Even after summary assessment, in addition, regular or best judgment may happen. And he is of the thinking what? That once summary assessment is done, nothing should happen. But that's wrong. That's what I told you while teaching, that nowadays every person who files the return, by default his summary assessment is done. In addition, you may be regularly assessed or assessed under best judgment. So what is your advice to Rajan? He should respond to the notice. And then you should also say, if he fails to respond to this notice, AO will make best judgment assessment. Because see, whenever you advise someone, you have to explain the consequence also. Na? Like when I advise, you study properly, study. If you don't study, your attempts will be postponed again and again. Your life will become this and that. So, advice should be with the consequence. So, your advice should be what? Firstly, assessee should respond to the notice. And if he fails to respond to the notice, then AO will conduct best judgment assessment. Okay. So, this was question number 5. And reason also should be given. Because why he should respond? Because summary assessment is as good as no assessment. Then question 6. In question 6, what was given? Whom Limited filed its return for AY 26-27 on 6th July 26. The return was selected for regular assessment, for which notice under section 143.2 was served on the company on 3rd July 27. State whether the service of the notice is within time. Means what are they asking? Is this notice served within time? So you should have knowledge of the time. What is the time for serving 143.2 notice? 3 months from the end of the year return is filed. So you check if the notice is served within that 3 months time, your answer should be it's valid, otherwise invalid. So, but it depends upon when did he file the return, because that 3 months counting is from the end of the year in which return is filed. So check when the return was filed. Return was filed on 6th of July 26, and we don't count from the exact date, we count from the end of the year. So what is the end of 6th of July 26? End of the year is what? 31st March 27. After that 3 more months you have to add, which comes to 30th June 27. And you know, as I told you, notice should be served, means it should be received by the assessee, latest up to 30th June. You remember I told you in this notice, it is not like that it should be issued in 3 months. It should be received. I told you while explaining that in this notice specifically, law says within 3 months the notice should be received by the assessee. See, if it is issued in 3 months, received later, it's not proper. It should be received only within 3 months. And the word received, which I am hammering, in the law they have not written received. They have written the word served. See, served and received is one and the same. Only thing is the word received is a simple language. And the word served, it is proper legal language. Okay. So see, in exam you can write like this. Either you can write notice under 143(2) should be received within 3 months, or it should be served within 3 months. And it should be served within 3 months means in our example it should be served latest up to 30th June 27. And here the notice was served on 3rd July. So it is within time or beyond the time. Beyond the time. And you know, in such case what you should write? The notice is time barred. By heart certain words. Notice is time barred. See, when to use the word time barred? When you cross the time limit. When the things doesn't happen within time, what do we say? It's time barred. Time barred means you cross the limit. So if you cross the limit, notice is valid or invalid? Invalid. Tell me what happens in such case. Notice is invalid. Then, so regular assessment failed. Assessee escaped. In such case, what to say? Assessee escaped. Because see, Zoom Limited, if department wanted to catch them, they should have made sure that the notice is received by them up to 30th of June. But they failed to make them receive the notice up to 30th June. So what will IT department think? Oh, Zoom Limited escaped. And for escaping assessee, there is section 147. But to conduct 147, assessing officer should have information from rough CAs. If nothing from rough CAs is there, they cannot do anything. Anyways, all this you don't have to write. It is just because I have explained all this in the previous lecture, I am connecting. Okay. Here you are supposed to write what? Whether the service is within time. See, always your answer should target the question. What is the question saying? Whether the notice is in time. Don't just say no. You have to explain the provision that this notice is supposed to be served on the assessee within 3 months from the end of the year return is filed. And in this case, in the return is filed on 6th of July 26, notice should be served up to 30th June 27. But here the notice is served on 3rd July 27. Hence the notice is time barred. It's not in time. Accordingly, the notice is invalid. Then question number 7. Grind Limited is engaged in sale of beverages. For previous year 25-26, it failed to file the return voluntarily. It failed to file the return voluntarily means it did not file the return on its own. After the end of AY, on 17th May 27, the AO served a notice under section 143(2). What does 143(2) say? Attend the office of AO. So that notice was given to attend the office. And assessment was completed under section 143(3) by passing an order on 12th July 27. Discuss whether the action of AO is valid or not. Action of AO. What was the action of AO? What action AO took? He served a notice and then he completed the assessment. So is AO right? He is wrong. Because see, if assessee has failed to file the return, regular assessment cannot be done. For regular assessment, return is must. You know, this point I explained when While I was explaining the distinction between summary, regular, base judgment, that time I told you, see, regular means what? It's a proper assessment, conducted in a proper manner, in a systematic manner. And to conduct assessment in a systematic manner, return is a precondition. Without having the return, directly doing the assessment, it's not proper. That is done in base judgment. So here what AO did he do base judgment or regular? And regular assessment cannot be done without the return. Here most important point was assessee failed to file the return. Then how come regular assessment was done? This is wrong on the part of AO. So tell me, advise the AO what he should have ideally done. What he should have done, tell me. Assessing officer had two choices. Choice one, that since assessee has not filed a return, sending a notice under section 142(1) asking him to file the return. And once the return comes, thereafter regular assessment can be done. Or the other choice is directly do base judgment assessment. And AO is having the right to do base judgment assessment whenever assessee fails to file the return. In the several circumstances of base judgment, there was one circumstances failure to file the return. So in short, here AO has got two options: either send notice under 142(1), ask him to file the return, and that is also his choice. If he thinks no, why? Is he VIP? That I should send him a notice and request him to file the return. Since he has not filed the return, out of his duty, I will do base judgment. That also he can do. But doing regular assessment is wrong. So the action of AO is valid or invalid? Invalid. See, these things are explained in the lecture. Through homework, basically we are revising the important points and you are making it thorough. See, action of AO is not valid. And what was the suggestion you can give to AO? Either require the assessee to file the return or do base judgment by issuing a show cause notice. Then question number 8. In question 8, see what is given. Big Bank Private Limited is a closely held company. Closely held company means it's a private company. Anyways, it has got no connection here. I'm just saying closely held means it's a private company. It filed its return for the previous year 25-26 on 17th October 2026. A notice under section 142(1) was issued requiring the assessee to furnish certain information. See, furnish certain information means it was I in RAI. You know, in RAI notice there are 3 notices. So in RAI, what is I? Information. So this notice was issued to the assessee. However, assessee failed to reply. Then on 4th May 27, the AO passed an order under 144 computing the income of the assessee as per his base judgment. The assessee contends. Assessee contends means he claims, he argues. Contention is an argument. Assessee argues that the order passed by AO is not tenable in law. Not tenable means it is, you cannot hold such order in law. In short, it is not valid. See, be familiar with these words. Not tenable means you cannot hold such order. Actually, tenable means it cannot be held. In short, they are saying this is not proper order. Who contends this? Assessee. Contends means he is arguing that this order passed by AO is not tenable in law as the AO failed to issue show cause notice. I mean, this is the argument of the assessee that because AO failed to issue show cause notice, the order is not tenable in law. Discuss whether the contention, whether the argument of assessee is valid or not. So is it valid? No, it's not valid. Why? Because if assessee fails to reply to 142(1), show cause notice is not required. See, but how will you frame the answer? First, you have to explain the provision. Generally, before making base judgment assessment, a show cause notice should be issued to the assessee. However, there is an exception. If base judgment is done by the AO due to assess's failure to comply with notice under 142(1), then show cause notice is not required. And in the given case, best judgment was done by AO because of assess's failure to reply to show cause notice. Failure to reply to 142(1) notice. So accordingly, in the given case, show cause notice is not required. Hence, the contention of assess is not valid. Because assess is arguing what? Show cause notice should have been there. It's not required. It's generally required, but when you fail to reply to 142(1), show cause is not required. And assess is standing with that argument only. Why I was not given show cause notice? It's not required only. So assess is wrong. See, actually, if you notice this whole paragraph in the answer, it is also there in our theory. See, I have written the answer also in such a way so that there should be uniformity in your notes. If you see my notes theory book, this same paragraph is there. Same paragraph I have copied and pasted here. And then conclusion is given. See, basically this is the provision and then the conclusion. Okay. See, you cannot directly give a conclusion. Contention of assess is not valid. Answer cannot be yes, no, right, wrong. You have to justify why. So justification is what? That 142(1) failure does not require show cause notice. Best judgment can be directly done. Generally it is required. Then question number 9. Didn't you feel all this I had explained in the previous lecture? So you can connect with the theory taught to you. In respect of previous year 2021, AO discovered an escaped income of rupees 80,000. To assess this income, AO initiated proceeding under 147. See, the moment they say 147 means what? Assessment is done on time or it's late. It's late. And see, the word discovered means what? They came to know later. Income was there, but AO discovered later. See, if he would have known on time, he would have done regular assessment, na? Why government has to depend upon 147? Because they are not able to catch the assessee on time. So here also when they are saying 147, it is understood that for the previous year 2021, action could not be taken on time. That is why section 147 is taken. So AO initiated 147 and he issued notice under 148 on 4th Jan 26. Is the proceeding valid? Basically, you know what they are asking? That 147 was done, that is okay. But for that, notice was issued when? 4th Jan 26. And you know what is the time limit of notice under 148? Yesterday I had explained, na, the time limit for notice under 148 is what? See, for 148A, it is 3 years. But for plain 148, it's 3 years and 3 months from the end of AY. So first you have to determine the AY. In the question they given PY, so convert into AY. So it will be AY 21-22. And after this you have to add 3 years, 3 months. So first if you add 3 years, it will come to 31st March 25. Then 3 years, 3 months will be 30th June 25. So 148 notice can be issued latest up to 30th June 25. And see, whenever they issued the notice 26. Is it within time or time barred? It's time barred. Say time barred. Time barred. See, sometimes we don't understand what are they asking. Because see, a student should think like this. Everything is looking valid, na? You discovered the escaped income. 147 was done. It's good, na? What's the problem? The problem has come here. See, department will discover your escapement, but they cannot do anything beyond a particular time, na, there is a time for acting on the escaped assessees. Okay. Like see, even if I hide crores of income, beyond particular time, they cannot do anything. What is the maximum time within which I can be caught? 5 years, worst case. That is when I have done escapement of 50 lakhs or more. But beyond particular time limit, they cannot do anything. And here what AO was doing, he was trying to catch the escaped income on 4th Jan 26, which is beyond the time limit. See, many students are wondering, sir, what about 148A notice? Because see, before 148, 148A has to be done. Forget it, na? If they are not mentioning, we'll assume all that was done on time. What all that? 148A, show cause, that might have been done on time. If the problem is silent, make positive assumption that that was done on time. But doing 148A on time is not sufficient. Na? Everything should happen on time. And our step 2 of notice under 148, it has a time of 3 years and 3 months. And that if you calculate, it comes to what? 30th June. What was that? 30th June 25. 30th June 25. But here they are sending the notice up to 30th June 25 or after that. After that. That's why the proceeding is valid or invalid? Invalid. So see, I have written here it's invalid. That's it. So these were the homework questions. Then look here. Check the status of the chapter. In this chapter, first we did returns. Then we did inquiry, 142. Thereafter, assessment is still going on. In assessment, broadly we have got timely assessment, belated assessment. In timely assessment, we did summary assessment, regular assessment, best judgment assessment. Now we are doing what? Belated assessment means income escaping assessment. Okay. Now, income escaping assessment theory is divided into 4 parts. Part 1, what is the meaning of escaped? So, escape means if assessee was not assessed on time, or even if assessed, he was not properly assessed, he was under assessed. In such cases, we say assessee has escaped. Then, what is the condition to catch the escaped assessees? Rough CAs. And what is the procedure? There are 4 steps to be followed. Out of which step 1 is what? Issuing show cause notice. See, this step 1 is done. Why? You know, we are giving a chance to the assessee to prove his innocence. If he can prove his innocence, he'll be left. But if he is proved guilty, proceeding will be carried on him. So here he is given a chance to prove his innocence. So let's see whether he can prove or not. And then whatever is decided, it is decided in an order. See, this order is what? Here we decide finally his case should be reopened or not. If reopened, we go to the next step. And in the next step, we issue a notice under section 148 requiring him to file the return. Why do we ask him to file the return? Because when government does not do the assessment on time, the assessee's file gets closed. And when you reopen the case, you have to reopen from the scratch. So although you might have filed a return in past, you have to again file the return. And when to file the return? Within the time specified in the notice. But maximum you will be given 3 months time to file the return. 3 months from end of the month in which this notice was issued by AO to the assessee. Okay. The end of the month means that month is also counted plus 3 extra months. Within that much time, latest assessee has to file the return. See, actually, first AO will specify. But what law says, don't give him more than 3 months time. Huh? Give him 1 month time, 10 days time, 25 days. But don't give him more than 3 months time. Now, after one more thing. You know, in step 2, sometime it happens that without doing this step 1, you directly come to step 2. Sometimes it happens that without doing step 1, you are directly doing step 2. That's possible when if faceless collection of information, if this method has given information about your income escapement, then step 1 is not required. You remember I told you? You know, in such case what law says? If step 1 was not done, then doing step 2 will require prior approval of additional CIT or JC. But that is when if step 1 is skipped. See, skipping the step 1 is not a choice. You cannot skip out of your own wish. It is just sometimes as per the law only. Law itself says that no need to do step 1 if the information came from faceless collection information. So if I don't do step 1, so step 2 will require a permission thing. Because see, if step 1 was done, already approval was taken. But imagine if step 1 was not done, then permission will be needed. Basically, understand the feeling of the law. Law says permission is must. And if step 1 was done systematically, then automatically that prior approval was taken. In case step 1 is not done, then step 2 should be initiated by taking permission. So imagine someone's escapement government came to know through faceless COI, faceless collection of information. So what they will do? They will directly start with step 2, but first they will take permission. They means assessing officer will take permission of either additional CIT or JC. And only when he gets the permission, this notice will be issued. And then once the notice is issued, assessee will file the return. Okay. So that permission thing I did not say in the last lecture, now I am saying. Okay. Now, what will be the step 3, you know? Again, one notice will be issued. AO will send a notice to the assessee. You know, this notice is what? Notice under section 143(2). 143(2). Now you will be shocked. You will think, sir, this notice comes in regular assessment. It's not like that. This is a general section. This section says what, you know? Whenever we have to call the assessee, there is a standard invitation letter. Only thing is, if assessee is caught on time, we say regular assessment. But if assessee is caught late, we say income escaping. But see, whether you catch him on time or you catch late, you have to call him, na? And to call him, there is a standard invitation letter made by the law. And that is called 143(2). So you should not be surprised, sir, how did this came here? How did this come here? It cannot come here. See, it's not like that. Understand the feeling of 143(2). This section says, whenever you want to call the assessee, this is the standard invitation letter. 143(2). It is just, in this procedure, we are taking action on time or late. We are taking late. But even if the action is taken late, we have to call him, na? See, without calling him, assessment cannot be done. Can you tell me what is the logic of calling the assessee now to attend the office? See, already in show cause notice, assessee attended and had a discussion with AO. Yes, the purpose of step 1 was what, you know? Assessee attended AO to prove his innocence. That was the purpose of first meeting. Now AO is calling the assessee for computation purpose. See, in step 1, if you are not able to prove yourself innocence, that means you are guilty. Now if you are guilty, you should be taxed. But taxing cannot be done directly, na? To tax, there is some computation. And in computation, assessee has to be involved. Like, see, what example I gave in my last lecture, how I was caught, I sold a property, I made a capital gain, I did not show in the return. In my return, I showed only coaching classes income. I did not report capital gain, but government came to know. How they came to know? Through the registrar. So now they are taking action on me. So now you know why are they asking me to attend the office? Because capital gain computation will be done with meeting me, after meeting me. Because in capital gain, you require several data. Cost of acquisition, cost of improvement. See, working of capital gain, he cannot do it on his own. He has come to know that I have hidden capital gain. But to calculate capital gain, assessing officer needs some data. So I should participate there. I will have to tell that this property was sold at this much price and I had to give some brokerage for the sale of the property, and this property I had incurred, this property I had purchased long back, so it is a long-term gain, cost of acquisition. For that computation meeting, I am called now. In short, see, I want you to feel assessee will meet twice AO. Why twice? First time he will meet when he has to reply to show cause. See, this show cause notice also, how do you reply? You have to personally meet him. Law does not say that. If you want, you can give it in writing also. Like AO gave you a show cause notice, you can reply in the form of a letter also. But generally, people prefer to personally talk. So let's assume if assessee personally met AO, so what was the purpose of this meeting? This meeting was to just prove my innocence. But I failed to prove my innocence. They called me guilty. Now once again, why are they meeting? For computation purpose. So this meeting is a formal meeting to call the assessee to attend the office and discuss about the computation. Okay. Otherwise, see, if AO does the computation on his own, it's kind of waste judgment assessment there. Here also it's possible. Let's say assessee is not attending the office of AO. I don't want to attend. Then what AO will do? Okay, don't attend, go to hell. Anyways, I have come to know about your capital gains. I will calculate capital gains as per my judgment. Generally, assessee will not skip the meeting. Obviously, if my case is reopened, I cannot carry such attitude. I am also scared. So obviously, if they are calling me, I will go and sit in the meeting. But still, if someone asks me the doubt, sir, what if assessee does not attend? Don't attend. He will calculate the income as per his own judgment. See, right now, why is he calling me? To compute my capital gains. In my example, capital gain. Don't buy heart capital gain. I am just carrying forward the same example which I took it in the last lecture. Okay. So in short, this notice will be given to the assessee requiring him to attend the office. Can you tell me the time limit for this notice? 143.2, what did I say? 143.2 is a standard invitation letter to invite the assessee in the office. So since it is a standard invitation letter, the time limit is also standard. Like in regular assessment, what was the time limit? 3 months from the end of the year return is filed. Here also same, 3 months from the end of the year in which this new return is filed. Why I am saying new return? Because in my example, you forgot my example, sale of property. Earlier I had filed the return. I didn't show sale of property capital gain. I had shown coaching class income, but I had filed the return. But now once again I am asked to file the return. So that new return becomes the base for calculating 3 months. So here what we should say? This notice should be received by the assessee. It should be served on the assessee. What is the alternative word for the received? It should be served on the assessee within 3 months from the end of the year in which return in response to notice under 148 is filed by the assessee. Repeat, how will you say? This notice should be served on the assessee within 3 months from the end of the year return is filed. But how should you say? End of the year in which return in response to notice under section 148 is filed by the assessee. In short, it depends upon filing return date. So tell me, if this filing return happens on 3rd December, if this filing return happens on 3rd December, then end of the year is March. After that, 3 more months, June. So what to do? Up to June, AO should make sure that assessor receives the notice. Read this. Same thing, 3 months, taking the return filing date as the base. Now, after assessor receives this notice, he will attend the office. When will he attend the office? On the specified day. Whatever day is mentioned, on that day he has to attend. Now what will happen? Step 3 is over. In step 4, they will start discussing about what? Why, Shirish Vyas, you had hidden the property sale capital gain. Now provide me all data. I will calculate your capital gain now. Short term, long term, etc. etc. Or that calculation meeting will happen. And here also there will be some argument. No, I purchased a property just 1 year back or 10 years back, because if short term is there, the tax rates are different. Long term is there, tax rates are different. And here also assessee may try to manipulate. No, my actual cost was this much. Assessee will try to show the cost of property on a higher side to reduce his capital gains. In short, such discussions will happen in this meeting. And after discussion, what will happen? On a piece of paper, income will be calculated, and that piece of paper I have drawn like an order. See, this thing is what? This thing is a piece of paper on which calculation will be done. And you know how this calculation will be done? Look. Past income will be taken as the base, and the hidden income will be added separately. What AO will do? First, he will add the past income which are already shown. See, basically they are trying to attack your hidden income. But whenever computation is done, it's done in totality. See, tax cannot be levied on the hidden portion only. Taxation is always on totality. Like, see, have you ever heard tax on capital gain, tax on income from other source, tax on business income, tax on salary? Do we tax item wise to the incomes or in totality? In totality. See, the slab rates, see, in capital gain, slab rates are not applicable, but capital gain is in my example. Every time it's not capital gains. Many times the income which is caught, it's subject to slab rate. And do you apply slab rate on particular item of income or on the total? It's on the total. What are the slab rates? Up to 2,50,000, the tax is at 0%. From 2,50,000 to 5 lakhs, it's 5%. Above 5 lakhs up to 10 lakhs, 20%. Above 10 lakhs, 30%. All this I will explain later. Don't worry. But there is a slab rate system in India, and slab rates do not apply to particular item of income. It's on the total. See what I'm trying to justify, that even if this past income you are declared in the past, you might have paid also tax on that. You have to take it as a base and then add all the hidden incomes. In my example, what did I hide? Capital gains. So add it, and then income will be calculated in totality, and then tax will be calculated. Yes. Now whatever tax comes from that, I will get credit of what I have already paid in past. Like, see, coaching classes income I had declared, so that tax I have paid, so that will be adjusted, and I will have to pay only the balance amount. Okay. See, imagine what if this is short term capital gain. Short term capital gain is subject to slab rates only. Anyways, don't worry about the rates of the tax. Rates of the tax, everything will be taught to you. Even though you have studied in Inter, everything will be taught to you from the scratch. I'm just saying, this capital gain can be short term also. And when it is short term capital gain, the whole income will be subject to slab rates. So as per slab rates, you will calculate. And then whatever he paid in past, it will be deducted. Balance will be demanded. And this is done by passing an order. Now, next point is what you know. When AO will pass this order? When AO will pass this order? What is the time limit? Every step is subject to some time limit, na? So see, here also the time limit is 12 months. 12 months is not a problem for you to remember. You can remember. Problem is from when to count 12 months. So this 12 months is calculated from end of the year. This also you keep in mind. Every time limit is counted from end of the year. So 12 months from the end of the year in which notice under section 148 was received by the assessee. Have patience, I will justify why it's like that. But first tell me, what did I say? 12 months from end of the year in which notice under section 148 was received by the assessee. You know, 148 notice means what? Step 2. Step 2, step 2, step 2, step 2. See this step 2. Look at this drawing. Huh? This is AO sending the notice to the assessee. And when assessee received this notice from the end of that year, 12 months will be calculated. 12 months for what? For passing the order. Tell me why 12 months is counted taking this as the base. See, there was step 3 also, step 2 also, step 1 also. But government has chosen step 2 as the base for calculating 12 months. See, generally what a student does, you know, he calculates the time in sequence. Like, see, sequence means what was the preceding step? Before fourth step, what was the third step? To send a notice and ask him to attend. And after he attends within 12 months, generally student thinks like this, that once he attends, after 12 months order should be passed. But it's not like that. Huh? 12 months counting is depending upon 148 notice when it was received. See, basically what government wants, you know, government wants this 12 months should get over fast. Why government is in haste, you know? Because already assessee was not caught on time. Imagine the example which I gave. I sold a property, I have hidden the capital gain, and government did not catch me on time. So already they are catching me late. That late, if you do further late, so how late? See, already government is feeling what? That we could not catch the assessee on time. We are taking a late action. Now we cannot further drag. We want to do it fast, fast, fast. And to finish it fast, 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 this 12 months should get over fast. And if I want to finish 12 months fast, I should take it from the beginning. Actually, beginning was step 1. But you know, step 1 is dicey, na? In step 1, assessee may prove himself innocent. He may be guilty. So this has no value. See, when AO will pass the order, only when you are guilty, na? So in step 1, it is dicey. In step 1, what is happening? You are given a chance to prove your innocence. What if you are able to prove you are innocent? So everything gets cancelled, na? That's why government is not giving importance. See, actually what was in the mind of government? We want to count 12 months from the earliest date. Because if counting starts from the earliest date, the time will get over fast. And why we want fast? Because already someone had hidden the income. We could not take the action on time. We are waking up so late. So now we should not be further late. This is the thinking of the government. See, if you understand the thinking of Nirmala Sitharaman, means finance minister, then you will understand DT. Otherwise, if you have to just mug up, you will start hating the subject. When will you love the subject? When you know the concept. Okay. And I promise you, you will love this subject because everything I will explain with logic. So you are understood what is the logic? What was the mind of government? We want to finish 12 months fast. And this can finish fast if it is counted from the earliest date. Actually, earliest date is step 1. See, in the whole procedure, step 1 was the first step. It was the earliest step. But why we cannot take this as the base? Because this step may land up with assessee proved himself innocent. It may land up with assess is a guilty person, but we do not know that, na? So that's why law says forget it. We will take step 2 as the base. And here also, you know what law says? When assessee receives the notice is important. You didn't hear properly. 12 months from end of the year when notice under section 148 was received by the assessee. Law did not say notice was issued. See, notice might have been issued, but when assessee receives is important. Because see, when assessee receives his notice 148, that time he will feel I am gone now. They are asking me to file the return. Now confirm I am gone. See, in the step 1, he was having some hopes. I might be left, I might be caught, I might be left, I might be caught. He was having hopes in step 1. But in step 2, feel assessee's feeling. In step 2, the moment assessee gets 148 notice, 148, he is damn sure now I am gone because they have sent notice under 148. I am asked to file the return. Now confirm I am gone. And till the time I received 148, there was some hope. Maybe they don't do anything. After this show cause and etc., maybe they feel I am innocent. So that's why actual counting starts from the date when assessee receives the notice. So in short, tell me once again, how to calculate 12 months? 12 months from end of the year in which notice under 148 was received by the assessee. As a student, you know, just keep in mind taking step 2 as the base. Step 2. Fourth step, time limit, will be taken from step 2. The date when assessee receives the notice, not from the date, from the end of the year. The end of the year means actually they get more time. It looks like, oh, they have to finish in 12 months. Actually, it is 15, 16, 17, 18 months. Why I am saying like this? You only tell me, no, if assessee received the notice on, say, 19th October. From 19th of October, he received notice. So after that, time starts. Whole October month is there. Calculate October, November, December, Jan, Feb, March. That time is also available with the AO. After that, 12 more months. This much time he has to pass the order. Obviously, meeting will start only when I attend the office. Actual meeting will start only when I attend the office. But technically, AO has got ample time. It's not just 12 months. See, one more doubt a student has asked me in past batches. So why are we saying 12 months? Why can't we say 1 year? If you notice, the time limit of regular assessment, base judgment, that was also 12 months. From lecture 1 only I am saying 12 months, 12 months. So as a student, you should wonder, why do we say 12 months? Why can't we say simple 1 year? 12 months is 1 year only, no? The logic behind this is what you know. This time limit keeps changing. Sometimes it is 9 months, sometimes 18 months, sometimes 21 months. These are not random numbers, huh? This is past. In my old batches, time limit used to be 21 months. In some of my batches, it was 18 months. Some of my batches, it was 9 months. In my recent batches, it is 12 months. That's why it sounds funny. 12 months is 1 year only, no? See, you are thinking from your batch point of view, but government has to think in totality. So when they make the law, they have expressed this period in months. Because right now it is 12 months. Who knows, after amendment, this 12 can become 11 months. They want to keep it in months. That's the logic, okay? Anyway, still if someone says, but by chance, sir, if I write in exam 1 year, right, it's okay. They will not deduct marks for that. But I would advise, wherever I am giving in months, write months. Wherever I am giving year, write year. 4 steps are over. Now see, summarized way. I am repeating 4 steps in a different pattern. Look. What was the example which I gave of income escaping? I had sold a property, I had made good capital gain, but I have hidden the income. I didn't show it in the return. And government came to know through the registrar. Okay. And let's assume that property sale happened in 22-23. Means actual property was sold in previous year 20-23. I will say previous year only, no? See, the year when transaction happens is the previous year. So assume I sold a property in 22-23. And initially they didn't come to know. They came to know late. So what will they do now? I am repeating with the drawing. Trust me, this drawing will be awesome. Huh? You will like it. So help me in drawing. I sold the property in 22-23. They came to know little late. So what will they do? Tell me the procedure step by step. 4 steps. First they will issue 148 days show cause notice within show cause notice within 3 years from the end of relevant AY. So what is the relevant AY here? 23-24. So see, this is step 1. See, actually I am plotting all 4 steps in the drawing. Huh? So what is step 1? Issue notice under section 148A, and that should happen within 3 years. See, this dot means what, you know, I have just randomly put a star somewhere just to show that within 3 years anytime notice can come. So I am just randomly putting a star here. Okay, it can come at this date also, this date, anytime within 3 years I can get show cause notice. Then this is step 1. After that what will happen? In show cause notice I am giving a chance to prove my innocence. So I may be innocent, I may be guilty, but I am getting a chance. After this what will happen? Assume I am guilty. Next step is what? I am repeating. Step 2. Notice under 148 requiring the assessor to file the return. What is the time limit for that? 3 years and 3 months. 3 years, 3 months. So look at this. 3 years, extra 3 months. See, that same 3 years was there for 148A, na? Only thing is for the next step, you get little more time. So it is 3 years, 3 months. Tell me, this was a show cause notice. And this is a notice requiring me to file the return. So tell me, after receiving this return, what will I do? I will file the return. When will I file the return? Answer this properly. When should I file the return? I should file the return within the prescribed time prescribed in the notice. But maximum, I will be given a time of 3 months. So look here. 3 months is from the month in which notice was issued. Remember last lecture I told you, maximum I will get 3 months time. 3 months from when? End of the month in which 148 notice was issued. So see, this is the issue month. Issue month can be December, October, November, whenever the notice was issued. Here it is issued, issued. See, somewhere it is issued, somewhere it is received. See, 99% it will be issued only. Wherever the word received is there, I will hammer. Don't worry about that. By default, in your sentences, which word should be highlighted? Issued. Issued and sent is one in the same. You can write issued, sent, one in the same. But wherever received date is important. See, what is the difference between issued and received? Issue means letter has gone from the department. Received means it is received at assessor's residence. Nowadays, issuing and receiving date is same because nowadays communication is through email. And in email, the moment I shoot the mail, you will receive. But still, in exam, we should be mindful when to write the word issued and received. So always write the word issued only. When to write the word received only? There are only 2 places. Tell me, there are only 2 places where you will write the word received. In the whole income tax law, tell me where you use the word received. When you say 143 to notice, It should be received within 3 months from the end of the return is filed. Okay. And counting of 12 months also, this 12 months, it is from the end of the year when notice under 140 is received by the assessee. Literally by heart, there are only 2 instances where I have used the word received. See why I am telling so minute things, you know. Otherwise, see, I know a student will be innocent. He gets confused. Sometimes sir says what, sometimes sir says what. So don't worry, you have to always use the word notice issued. Only at 2 places you will use the word received. One is that 143 to attend the office notice, and second is this thing. Okay. Here also 12 months is from the end of the year when notice is received under 148 by the assessee. Okay, then what was this 3 months? You know, no? This is the maximum time we will be given to file the return. So see, I filed the return. See, actually see what I am trying to show, you know, this is the 3 months time. So, and in that 3 months, let's assume this star date, I filed the return. I can file the return anytime during that 3 months, na? That is also on higher side. So let's assume this star means on this date I filed the return. After I file the return, what will happen? The year in which I file the return, from end of the year, within 3 months, I will receive 143(2) notice. Step 3, step 3, step 1, step 2, step 3. What was step 3? See? 143(2) notice to attend the office. What is the time limit for that? Within 3 months, assessee should receive. 3 months from end of the year in which new return is filed. New return. So see, my new return was filed in this year. So from the end of the year, tell me why I have written the word year? Because 3 months is from the end of the year. And within this 3 months, this notice assessee should receive. Okay. Then what will happen? In this notice, what is written? Attend the office. So assessee will attend the office like this. And several meetings will happen. And then eventually, order will be passed. So tell me, when will the order be passed? When will the order be passed? 12 months from the end of the year. See, I have written here, year. See, year. Which year? Year when 148 notice was received by the assessee. Did you see my creativity? Look, 148 and this arrow means received. Whenever you received 148, from the end of that year, 12 months will be counted for passing the order. So see, basically this is pure repetition. I have repeated all 4 steps. See, I am highlighting the 4 steps. Step 1, 148A. Step 2, 148. Step 3, 143(2). Step 4, order. When I started this theory, I told you first only notice, order. This way you have to memorize. Notice, order. First notice is show cause. Second notice is file the return. Third notice is attend the office. What did I say? Notice, order. First notice is show cause. Second notice is file the return. Third notice is attend the office. Then order. So these are the 4 steps. Another style of repeating, just to focusing on the time limits. Tell me, notice, order. Tell me, every notice is asking you what and what is the time limit? This notice is asking me to do what and what is the time limit? This notice is asking you to show cause. And when will this notice be issued? Within 3 or 5 years from the end of relevant AY. The year in which I had hidden the income, that is the previous year. Previous year is the year of earning the income. The relevant AY after that within 3 or 5 years, 148A will come requiring me to show cause. And show cause should be done within the specified time. They will say within 10 days, within 15 days, within 25 days you come and prove your innocence if you can prove. Otherwise you are guilty in our eyes. Then this, what is the time limit for this? Same 3 years, 5 years plus 3 more months extra. And this notice will require you to file the return. And return should be filed within specified time. But maximum you will get 3 months time. 3 months from? 3 months from end of the month in which 148 is issued. See, if you draw this nicely, you know, you will be able to memorize everything. Everything I have put here nicely. See, maximum within 3 months assessee has to file the return. Huh? See, actually, technically it's not 3 months. Huh? Technically, within the time prescribed by AO. AO might say file the return in 10 days only, 25 days only. But AO is instructed by law that you should give maximum 3 months time. 3 months from end of the month when notice under 148 was issued. Then after filing of return, next happens what? 143.2. What is the time limit of 143.2? 3 months from the end of the year in which return was filed by the assessee. And within this 3 months, assessee should receive the notice. It should be served on the assessee within 3 months. And this will require you to attend the office. When to attend the office? Time will be specified in the letter that you attend on Thursday, Saturday, Friday, whatever day, whatever time. Then order will be passed within 12 months from end of the year when notice under 148 is received by the assessee. Anyways, this is again a repetition. See why I have to repeat this again, because you know there are several time limits. If you don't study this carefully, everything will become mess. Okay. So see, I have put my level best to make it simplest and give you the best. Now after this, if you don't study, if you just, especially video lecture student, if you just watch the video, go to the next video, go to the next video, just struggling to finish your videos, then nothing will happen. I understand a video lecture student has a liability of finishing so many hours of videos. I can understand that feeling, but then it should not be at the cost of quality. When you're studying from the video lecture also, you should make sure that along with the video, your subject should get over. It should not be like that, let me finish the video, then I will start my own studies later on. That's the wrong approach. Along with the videos, the subject should get over. Okay. See why I am talking about specially video lecture students, because face-to-face students, I will make sure that they revise and come. And I will ask them the question. So even if they don't want, it will automatically happen. So procedure is over. Look how it all started. Look, I am doing income escaping assessment. Basically, we are here. This is the summary of the topic now. So we are at this stage. This is also fully over or not over? It's not over. In this, there are 4 things to be studied. What are the 4 things? Meaning, condition, procedure and notes. Till procedure we have done. Next point is what? Notes. And notes, every note is very important note. It is a prospective exam question. Each note is like a prospective exam question. And to remember these 5 notes, I have made a keyword, OT Gadar. I had this OT Gadar. Now see, in OT Gadar, first alphabet is what? O. The O stands for what? Other escaped incomes. See, before I start explaining, can you guess what should be this? Other escaped incomes. See, sometime what happens, you are caught for a particular income. You are caught for a particular income. And in the procedure, they came to know about your other escaped income also. So what will they do? Like, see, take that example of mine. What was my example? I have sold a property, I made a capital gain, but I did not disclose my capital gain in my return. But income tax department came to know how. Registrar of the property, they informed IT department, they came to know. So see, now they will reopen my file. So they are reopening my case with which point? Capital gain. But it might happen that they came to know about my other escaped income also. So see, let's imagine that my capital gain income they came to know. So they will follow 4 steps on me. Repeat. First they will do what? Step 1, repeat. First they will issue a show cause notice under 148A. I will be given a chance to prove my innocence. But let's assume I could not prove my innocence because obviously I have sold the property, I made a capital gain. How can I prove my innocence? So I could not prove my innocence. So then they will go to step 2. 140, they will ask me to file the return. I filed the return also. After that, they will send 143 to asking me to attend the office for computation of capital gains. So attended also. See, this is how the meeting happened. See, I have come to attend the office stage. And let's assume I made capital gain in the previous year 20 to 23. That's the same example I am continuing. Consistency, okay? So assume 20 to 23 capital gains was there. Now in this meeting, actually we are discussing about capital gains. Assessing officer will ask me, when did you buy the property? What is the cost of acquisition? Cost of improvement? Remember capital gain working? So we will be discussing about that. And you know, it happened that AO asked me to furnish my passbook. His purpose of asking the passbook was what, you know? Let me see, when did you buy the property? What is the cost of acquisition? He wanted to verify it through my passbook. Passbook means bank statement. So he asked for passbook. And when he was going through my passbook, his eyes went on some other income. There was some bank interest on FD. There was some bank interest on fixed deposits. He noticed that. And then he was wondering, oh, you are having FDs, fixed deposits? You are earning interest on that? That also you are not shown in the returns. See, actually he was not attacking on bank interest. He was in the procedure of capital gains only. But when he was doing capital gain procedures, he went through my passbook and bank statement and he noticed some bank interest. And then he realized that even this was not shown in the return. So then he said, you are a big culprit, Shirish Vyas. We thought you have just hidden capital gain. You also have hidden bank interest. So now in such case, what will happen? In exam, they ask the question like this only. They will create a situation and then at the end, they will ask, now what should be done? In situation is what? My capital gain proceedings was going on. And in the proceeding, they came to know about my bank interest income also, which also I had hidden. So what will happen? Can AO tax bank interest also, or he has to keep himself limited to capital gain? Answer: he can tax bank interest income also. This is written in the law. You know, long back, very long back, the law was silent about this. People used to argue. See, you have reopened my case with the point of capital gain. Stick to capital gains only. You cannot talk about other things. It's unfair. Because you gave me show cause. You gave me show cause for capital gain. For other income, you're directly jumping to tax it. It's not fair. People used to argue this way long back. But long back, the law was amended. In the act, they have clearly written now. See what is written in the law. Once a valid proceeding is initiated under section 147, the AO can also assess. The AO can also assess other escaped incomes, which is subsequently discovered during the course of proceeding, even if the provisions of 148A were not complied for other escaped incomes. What was this? Even if provisions of 148A was not complied with other escaped income, means even if that show cause notice blah 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 was not done, even if you feel we are directly taxing it, it can be done. It's allowed. So this is very important question. In the question, they can create a situation. Means how to create a question of this kind? First they will create some capital gain environment. That case was reopened with the point of capital gain, and in the proceeding, AO came to know about some dividend income. My example was bank interest. They will talk anything. In the proceeding, AO came to know about this dividend income, bank interest income, blah blah blah, and then they will ask, can AO tax such other escaped income also? So your answer should be yes. But just by writing yes, you will not get the marks. What will you write? I had this provision. Please, Bayada, please help me. Once a valid proceeding is initiated, say, once a valid proceeding is initiated under section 147, speak along with me. Once a valid proceeding is initiated under section 147, the AO can also assess other escaped incomes. AO can also assess other escaped incomes, which is subsequently discovered. Subsequently means AO came to know later on, which is subsequently discovered during the course of proceedings. Even if provisions of section 148A show cause notice are not complied with in respect of other escaped income. Why law has written that even if provisions of 148A are not complied with? Because every assessee will argue, you gave me the chance to prove my innocence only for capital gain. This is suddenly some new income only. And he will argue that you should start the procedure from step 1 again. And AO will say, I am not a fool to follow from step 1 once again. I have already followed a systematic procedure, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Now since I am at the last stage and now I come to know about your other income, I will directly tax it. I am not going to repeat the whole procedure. So see, finally in my example, how the order will be passed? Yes, how the order, come on, wake up, come on. How the order will be passed? In every 147 order, first we take past income as the base. So see, in past, whatever income I had honestly shown, that is taken as the base. Then capital gain, that was a main culprit, main escaped income. And then incidentally they came to know about my bank interest. See what I have written, read. Main escaped income, other escaped income, both are taken in the computation. And then after calculating the income, after calculating the tax, they will deduct what you already paid. Balance will be demanded. See, in such orders, penalties are also there. Huh? Because you only think someone has hidden the income. So how will he be treated in the law? He will be punished. See, in all this, what is happening? I had hidden capital gain. And now I have also hidden bank interest. So what will they do? They will give me an award. Obviously, they will punish me. So there is a penalty for this under section 270 capital A. By had this section. For hiding the income, there is a penalty under section 270 capital A. But this I am not teaching now. Because if I start teaching now, we will get diverted. Anyways, this penalty and all that I am going to explain at a later stage. Na? It is just a student should be curious at this moment to know that, sir, we have hidden the income. There should be some punishment. Na? Yes, there is punishment. Penalty under section 270 capital A. But right now, I am not involving in the computation part. I am not involving you in the computation part. Understand the procedure part. Okay. In short, other escaped income can also be taxed. So in OT Gadar, first alphabet we did O for other escaped income. Okay. पानी वानी पी लो, आंख लग गई थी आदित्य भाई की. ये पॉइंट समझा ना, दूसरी चोरी भी पकड़ सकते हैं लोग। हाँ, आएगा आएगा पॉइंट आएगा, है वो पैकेज में है वो। हाँ तो कर सकते हैं, 142 इधर भी हो सकता है। यस, सेक्शन 142 जनरल सेक्शन है, तो जनरल डिस्क्रिप्शन, आपको जॉब करना है करो, नहीं करना है मत करो। बराबर बराबर, 100% हो सकता है। चलो हो गया हलचल। Okay, tell me in this example, what if bank interest which was subsequently discovered pertains to some different year? In my example, capital gains was pertaining to which year? 20 to 23, na? And bank interest also, initially I assume it pertained to the same year. So if bank interest pertains to the same year, then both the incomes can be covered in the same order. See, this order under section 147 is specific to a year. Like, see, final accounts we prepare in accounts, trading, P&L account, isn't it year specific? So, for income tax department, this is income computation, and income computation is for a particular year. So, tell me if you have understood. If capital gain was pertaining to 20 to 23, for which the case was originally reopened, and if bank interest pertains to 20, say 24, 25, or some other year, let it be, bank interest pertains to some other year, then a separate proceeding has to be initiated. Then it should not happen that in this process only, anyways, we are taking capital gain, take that also. Then it will not happen like that. Huh? Then bank interest, if it is a income, if it is an income related to some different year, then a separate procedure will start. Separate procedure means what? 4 steps. Step 1, show cause notice. All that formality has to be done. Huh? Step 1, show cause notice within 3 years from the AY of bank interest. See, bank interest has a different year. So if the year is different, the AY is different. And in that 4 steps, the times will accordingly change. So tell me, if bank interest is of same year, then take it in the same order. If it is pertaining to some different year, then a separate proceeding must be initiated. In the exam, they ask the question like this, huh? What would be your answer if bank interest pertains to some blah 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 year? They will say some different year. So what will be your answer? Then in such case, a separate proceedings need to be initiated. Means that 4-step procedure should be separately done for bank interest. But if it pertains to the same year only for which capital gains pertain to, then it can be considered in the same proceeding. Okay. So this was O. The next alphabet is what you know? T. T for time limit. Time limit. What is the time limit for 148 notice? 3 years, 3 months. Generally. 5 years, 3 months when? If the escaped income is 50 lakhs or more, then it is 5 years, 3 months. This you already know, na? Now I will discuss one exception. There is one exception where there is no time limit. See, generally what image I have created, they cannot take action on me beyond 3 or 5 years, right? But sometimes even after 20 years, they can act on me. 20 is just a random number. I am trying to say there is no time limit. So there is one such exception. But see, to understand that exception, look, you will require some general knowledge about appeals. See, for some time I will be giving you some general knowledge about appeals. Because see, only if you have some basic idea about how income tax appeals happen, then only I will be able to communicate, understand my position. See, if I directly start explaining this point, it will go bouncer. Point is very simple, that you have to understand one case when there is no time limit applicable. Case is also not that tough, it's simple. But to explain that thing, I want you to have some general knowledge about appeals. So see, my plan is what, first I will give my students some general knowledge about appeals. Then I will start with this point T. What are we doing right now? O, T, Gadar. O is over, we have to do T, but before T, general knowledge, okay? Now see, you might have heard about appeals, but still from my side, let me talk properly. See, what is this happening? AO and assessee, they are meeting and they are doing assessment. See, this is a meeting of assessment. Now, at the end of every assessment, an order is passed. See, assessment can be regular assessment. What are the different types of assessment? Don't count summary. Summary is as good as no assessment. Regular, best judgment, income escaping assessment also we have done. So see, after every assessment, an order is passed. And that order is received by the assessee. And if the assessee is not happy, can you see my assessee is sad? See, I will zoom and show. He is sad. So if the assessee is not happy with the order passed by AO, which order? Assessment order. Then he can file an appeal to CETA. What did I say? CETA, CETA. I will call this person as CETA. What is the full form? Commissioner of Income Tax, in bracket appeals. Commissioner of Income Tax in bracket appeals. See, there are two CITs in Income Tax Department. One is General CIT, which I have been talking repeatedly in my past explanation. Now there is another CIT which handles only appeals. So that's why we call him CIT appeals. Actually people call him CIT appeals, but I will call CETA. So when I just say CIT, he is a different man. But when I say CETA, he is a different man. The level, the rank, the salary package of both the types of employees same in the office. But CIT does general work. And CIT appeals handles only appeal. Because there are many sad people in our country who are affected by the bad order of the AO. So to handle their cases, there is a person called CETA. So tell me, every assessee who is not satisfied with the order of AO, he will first approach CETA. And CETA will listen to his case. And after understanding his case, he will give the judgment. And with the judgment of CETA, assessee is still unhappy. See, CETA might make the assessee happy also, no? But let's assume assessee is still not satisfied with the judgment of CETA. He want to fight further. So now he has to go to ITAT. See ITAT? ITAT, full form? Income Tax Appellate Tribunal. Income Tax Appellate Tribunal. Tribunal is a court. But when a court is made for a particular law, we don't say court, we say tribunal. See, when do we say court? When it handles all the laws of India. But ITAT does not handle every law. It handles only Income Tax Act. That is why it is called tribunal. No? So what is the full form? Income Tax Appellate Tribunal. And imagine if you are not satisfied with the judgment of ITAT, then you will further file a case to High Court. And if High Court also doesn't satisfy you, go to Supreme Court. And if Supreme Court also doesn't satisfy you, you can commit suicide. Because there is no other way where you, because see, if assessee I am not still happy, Supreme Court is also bad, everyone is bad. Okay, sorry, can't help, because Supreme Court is the last resort. After this the case ends. So this general knowledge I wanted you to have. So there are 4 stages of appeal. CETA, ITAT, High Court, Supreme Court. See, a detailed discussion of this will happen in the next chapter. You know what is my next chapter? Appeals. After assessment process, our next chapter is appeals. So there we will discuss all this in detail. Right now I'm just giving a rough idea that there are 4 stages in appeal: CETA, ITAT, High Court and Supreme Court. Okay, you have the knowledge now. Now look at this. Notice under 148. What is 148? See, with the section number only you should understand this is for filing the return. When I say 148A, show cause, this is to prove my innocence or whether I'm guilty or not. Okay, but it is 148, filing of return. So tell me, this notice which will require you to file the return will be sent within 3 years 3 months, sometimes 5 years 3 months, but sometimes this notice can be sent anytime. There is no time limit. You know when it happens? Look here, exception of no time limit. Look at this chart. This will clarify everything. See, broadly there are 2 types of reopening. See, when do government reopen your case? If they come to know about some of the income which you have not shown and they feel, oh my God, we didn't take the action on time, or they feel even if we assessed, we could not assess properly. That is the time when they reopen. And generally reopening is done at AO's initiative. It is the initiative of the AO to reopen the case. See, consider as if assessee is a thief, AO is the police. And normally to catch the thief, who takes the action? Police. And in our income tax subject, assessee, you consider him like a thief because he has hidden the income, he has done manipulation. And who is the police? AO. Okay. So see, generally reopening means catching the thieves. It is the job of AO. It is done at AO's initiative. But sometimes reopening is directed by appeal authority. Means if I want you to imagine a movie kind of thing, so imagine generally in the movies, the thief is always caught by the police. Do judge do anything? In the court, tell me, court authorities, imagine a movie scene in the court, High Court, Supreme Court. Do judge have the time of catching the thieves? Catching the thief is the job of police. So in that, if you have that analogy here, reopening is the job of AO. But sometimes appeal authorities, means the judge sitting in the court, they will direct the police to catch a particular thief. This is very rare. Means reopening directed by appeal authorities. What is appeal authority now? CETA, ITAT, High Court, Supreme Court. All 4 I am calling them as appeal authority. Okay. So tell me, why will appeal authorities direct for reopening? Because actually the job of appeal authority is what? To give judgment. If someone is not happy with something, blah blah blah. So what is the job of CETA, ITAT, High Court, Supreme Court? To give the judgment. So people who give the judgment, they should give the judgment, na? They should not be interested in who is hiding the income, who is doing this and that. See, first I am creating a shocking thing for you, that reopening, why it is initiated by appeal authority. Because ideally appeal authority should be busy in giving the judgments. Catching the thief is the job of police. And here police means AO. So see, generally AO only will reopen. But rarely it happens that appeal authorities will direct reopening. Now see, whenever appeal authorities direct reopening, then there is no time limit of reopening the case. Whenever, firstly this is a rare thing, but even though rare, if it happens that appeal authority has directed reopening, see, they will not reopen, they will direct AO to reopen the case of some XYZ assessee. So when they direct, there is no time limit. But when AO initiates, let me catch this assessee, he has hidden the income, I will show him what will happen now. If he messes up with income tax department, I will show him. So when AO takes that action, then it is time bound. So now see, this is not giving you the full picture. After understanding, you will find this is the best chart here. But without understanding, it is nothing. You think for some time, what is this and why, when this will happen? Means I want you to imagine that how come it is possible that reopening is directed by appeal authority. And even if you can imagine a case like that, why there is no time limit? See, I want you to think over two things. Understand the matter to be studied. There are two things the student should know. Firstly, why reopening is directed by appeal authorities? Because you also have seen movies. In movies, you have seen the judge in the High Court, judge in the Supreme Court. They sit on one chair. They simply give the judgment. They should not be interested in who is doing income, hiding of income, etc. They should not be interested, na? So why is appeal authority giving direction for reopening? That is one thing you have to think. Then you have to think why there is no time limit. I will explain everything, but I want you to start thinking first. See, this is a normal case. Reopening at AO's initiative. The example which I gave, I sold the property, I did not show the capital gain. So my case was reopened by the AO. AO came to know from the registrar that Shirish has sold the property, he did not report the capital gain. So AO started acting on me. So generally it is the AO's initiative. But when will this happen and when? Why there is no time limit here? See, I am of what opinion? No, appeal authority, they should be giving the judgment. Their job is what? Whenever someone is not happy with something, so they have to understand the case and they have to say this is right, this is wrong. Judgment should be given. The people giving judgment, why are they interested in reopening? Because reopening means catching someone who has hidden the income. Catching someone who has hidden the income, that should generally not be the job of the appeal authority. See, it's correct. Generally, it is not the job of appeal authority. But sometimes it naturally happens. When it happens, for that there are only two cases in the whole life. Means in the entire universe you will find only two situations when appeal authorities have to direct reopening. See why I am saying in the whole universe, because see right now I will teach my students example 1, look, and then I will take example 2. You should not think, oh, these are just examples. No, these are the only two situations when it is possible that judges whose job is to give judgment, they will direct for reopening. There are only two possible cases. And you will also agree, okay, in these cases it is very obvious that although a judge whose job is to give the judgment, they will have to ask for reopening. So only when I talk with example, you will be able to understand. But see, what I want before I start teaching example 1, look, and example 2, I want you to keep in mind these are the only two situations where reopening directed by appeal authority will happen. And once I explain the two situations, I will also explain the logic of why there is no time limit. You will be convinced with why there is no time limit here. Okay. So see, let's talk with an example. We can communicate easily. Assume there was an income of 6 lakhs. Remember the amounts and the year properly. There was an income of 6 lakhs pertaining to the previous year 14-15. Remember the year 14-15? I said 14-15. Did you hear 14-15? Okay. Now there was a confusion whether the income should be taxed in Mr. X or Mr. Y. See, sometimes there is a confusion about the title of the income. I know you will find it little weird. If something is mine, it's mine. Something is yours, it's yours. Because if you imagine general cases, you will feel, how can there be confusion in income? Like in coaching class, I am getting the fees. It is my income only, no? But see, these are normal cases. But sometimes the situation is such where it is a doubt that this income should be taxed in Mr. X or Mr. Y. And see, don't go into the details of that. Right now, just assume that there was a confusion about income should be taxed in Mr. X or Mr. Y. So there was a confusion, okay. Now you know what assessing officer did? He taxed the income in Y's assessment. Whereas Y was saying, no, it's not my income. It should be taxed in X. This is the opinion of Mr. Y, okay. So see here. When Y's scrutiny took place, scrutiny, regular assessment. So when Y's scrutiny took place, Y pleaded, he requested, no, it's not my income, don't tax it in me, don't tax it in me. He convinced that income belongs to Mr. X, but AO was hellbound. He was not listening anything. He said, dear, I know everything. This is your income, I will tax it in you. So AO taxed Mr. Y. And see, this box means what, you know? Imagine order. See, when AO do assessment, they pass an order. It's like a piece of paper. So that paper I have shown here in the form of a box. So in that assessment order, he added 6 lakhs in the income of Y. Y was extremely sad. See? He's sad. You can't see, I will show. See. He was sad. So tell me, what Y should do now? Whenever you are sad with AO, you have to go to CETA. I gave you general knowledge now. Whenever you are not happy with AO, you have to run to CETA. Then I did High Court, Supreme Court. So what Mr. Y did? He filed an appeal to CETA. What is the full form of CETA? Commissioner of Income Tax Appeals. So he filed an appeal to CETA. And you know what CETA said? Mr. Y, it is your income only. It will be taxed in you only. Means here also Mr. Y requested, don't tax it in me. The income belongs to Mr. X. But CETA was also of the same opinion as AO was. So what CETA said, sorry dear, it will be taxed in you only. So see, assessee is still sad. Okay, he is still sad. So now what assessee will do? He will file an appeal to ITAT. So he filed an appeal to ITAT. But you know what ITAT said? Correct. This income is not to be taxed in Y. It should be taxed in Mr. X. This is whose judgment? ITAT. So when appeal was filed to ITAT, who filed the appeal? Mr. Y was fighting, na? So when he filed the appeal, so ITAT gave the judgment. Look, the judgment. Judgment was what? Income should be taxed in. Can you see I have written X? So finally Mr. Y was happy. Yes, I won the case. Because the judgment of ITAT says income should not be taxed in Y, it should be taxed in X. But you know when did ITAT's judgment come? Look at the judgment date. 26 September 2025 the judgment came. Income was belonging to which year? 14-15 years income, for which the fight was going on for years and years, and final verdict came in the year 25. Feel the gap. See here the date is important. Please see the date now. The income for which the fight was going on, the income was generated in 14-15. And you know, in India, once you file a case, do you expect your case will be resolved in a day or two? The case will go for years and years and years and years. You know why it happens? Come on. Why it happens? The case goes for years and years. Because there are so many people filing the case. Like see, CETA, ITAT, they are, you know, super busy people. If you see their office table, there are so many cases. which case they will handle. So, so many cases are lying on their table, they are not able to look into the case fast. So, it is very natural that in country like India, if you file a case, don't expect the judgment immediately. It will take years, and that's what happened in our case. The case was pertaining to the previous year 14-15. Judgment came in 25. Now, in this judgment, what ITAT said, income should be taxed in Mr. X. So how to tax X? X is 14-15 years should be attacked. But 14-15 year is closed. So we have to reopen. But who will do the reopening? ITAT will say, we will not do this work. This is not our job. Our job was to tell you what's right, what's wrong. Obviously, imagine if I'm ITAT, what will I say? I am judge. My job is to give the judgment, what's right, what's wrong. So I have said that Mr. Y was wrongly taxed. So I will relieve Y. Means I will give the refund. I will pass a judgment in the favor of Y. And Mr. Y was wrongly taxed, he will get the refund. That I will handle. Because if Y has come to my rescue, I have to help him. But now touching X, that I won't do. So for that, he will call AO. AO, come here, AO, come. I am giving you one work. There is one person X, reopen his case and put this income in his assessment. Will give this job to whom? ITAT will give the job to AO. This is called reopening is directed by ITAT. And you know why there is no time limit? See, as soon as ITAT will call AO, AO come here, you have to reopen the case of Mr. X. What will AO say? But sir, that is 14-15. And you are asking me to do the reopening in 25. The year is too old. So what ITAT will say? So what? When we are giving directions, time limit is not a hurdle. And it is not our fault also. We look into the cases after long time and we take lot of time to give the judgment. So time has naturally passed away. So you don't worry about time limit. When you do the initiative of reopening, you are time bound. I am ITAT. When I am ordering, don't give me the excuse of time and all. Just start doing what I am instructing you. In short, now AO will do the reopening of 14-15. You know, all this is happening in the year 25. So even if 25 has come, 14-15 way back around 10 years old. But reopening is allowed because it was not AO's initiative. It was ITAT's direction. See, actually, ITAT was not even interested in X. But the judgment was such that it is touching some other person. See, if Y has to be done anything, that ITAT will manage. Because see, Y has come to ITAT, like see, if you are Y and I am ITAT, so if you come to me, I have to help you. But you are Y, na? But helping you requires what? Taxing some other person. Other person I am not going to handle. For that I will have to instruct AO. See, if the judgment of Y affects only Y, then there will be no need of reopening, na? See, as far as Mr. Y is concerned, it is ITAT's duty to handle Y. And ITAT will handle Y. How will they handle Y? They will give him justice. Don't worry, Mr. Y. Something wrong has happened with you. You were wrongly taxed. I will make sure you get your refund. So helping Y is the duty of ITAT. But the judgment is touching X also. So then only reopening will. And this way, there are only two cases. One more case I will tell you. See, generally what happens, the judgment of whether ITAT, High Court, Supreme Court, it will touch that assessee only. But sometimes the person who filed the appeal, he is given the judgment. But the judgment is only such that it is touching someone else. And when someone else comes into the picture, who is nicely enjoying. So his case will be reopened and direction will be given to AO. And tell me, what is the logic of no time limit? Here time cannot work because appeal authorities have to direct, and appeal authorities look into a case after a long time, and they also take lot of time to deliver the judgment. So time will be passed away, na? So keeping that thing in mind, law says that if reopening is by chance directed by appeal authority, means it is not AO was interested in reopening, he was directed by his boss. These are like boss only, na? Then reopening has got no time limit. Okay. See, for a student in exam, it's very simple to identify. Whenever in the question you get the feeling, what feeling? That they are talking about reopening and it is directed by appeal authority. Appeal authority can be CETA, ITAT, High Court, Supreme Court. Once you get this feeling in the answer you write, there is no time limit. See, for you it is very simple. Question is very simple to solve. But in real life, when and how it happens, that I have to explain with example. Otherwise, if it is just a matter of solving this sum, in this sum it will be clearly mentioned that AO was directed to reopen the case of blah 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 assessee and direction was given by appeal authority. The moment you see such wordings in the question, you have the answer ready, no time limit. Mechanically you can by heart, but you have to understand practically why it happened. That why ITAT got interest in X. Actually ITAT was not interested in X. ITAT was busy in giving justice to Y, but the justice was such that it requires reopening of X. See, there is one more such case possible, and once these two cases are taught to you, believe me, there is no other case possible where appeal authorities have to direct for reopening. See, there is one more case. Look. See, here many students have asked me the doubt. Sir, you are saying ITAT will direct AO to reopen the case of Mr. X in respect of the previous year 14-15. The previous year 14-15 is so old. Books of accounts of 14-15 may not be available. See, you are not handicapped and so dependent on books of accounts. See, whenever reopening happens, reopening is for a particular point. Here the point was what? 6 lakhs, which was wrongly taxed in Y, should be put in X. You don't need books of accounts, huh? See, why I am addressing this point? Because in my several years of teaching, this doubt has come. Sir, what if 14-15 years books of accounts are not there, no records are available? Why you need? See, reopening doesn't mean you have to do all 5 heads of income detailed computation. Anyways, you need books of accounts when you have to compute business income of an assessee, a detailed business income. And in reopening, a particular point is caught. So that point can be attacked without even the need of books of accounts. So in short, don't think in that zone. Huh? Even if the year is 12, 15, 13 years old, the case can be reopened because the agenda is fixed. This 6 lakhs is to be taxed in X. Okay. Then one more example, try this. Again, let's assume there was an income of 6 lakhs and here what was the confusion? Whether this income should be taxed on accrual basis or receipt basis. This was a debate. Income accrues sometimes in 1 year, but it is received at a later date. So here also something like this happened. Income accrued in, remember the year probably 14-15 it accrued, but it was actually received in 16-17. And here what was the fight? Whether income should be taxed on accrual basis or receipt basis. That was an argument going on. Now see, you don't start thinking, sir, actually how it happens, whether the incomes are taxed on accrual or receipt basis. This I will explain later when we talk about heads of income. When we discuss about the heads of income, that time I will tell you that how the incomes are actually taxed, whether they are taxed on accrual or receipt. Generally, all the incomes are taxed on accrual basis, but sometimes it is on receipt basis. But this knowledge currently, if you don't have, it's okay. I don't want that knowledge also from you right now. I just want you to believe that there was some fight about what? That this income should be taxed on accrual basis or receipt basis. Something like this was going on. So, and here assessee is same. There was one assessee, but the fight was of year. See, in my previous example, X or Y, X or Y, X or Y. Here X only or Y only. But this year or that year, this year or that year, that kind of fight is going on. Okay. So see, what AO did, when the assessment was going on, AO said, I will tax the income on receipt basis. Means what AO did? He taxed income of 6 lakhs on receipt basis. Which assessor said it's wrong. It should not be taxed on receipt basis. It should be taxed on accrual basis. And see why assessee is interested in the year, rate of tax changes. See, whether income is taxed on accrual basis, receipt basis, you might be wondering now what difference it makes. It makes every year the rate of tax is not the same. So that is why assessee was crying. He wanted income should be taxed on accrual. But what AO did? Dear, I am assessing officer, I will decide what's right and wrong. So he taxed the income on receipt basis. And see, can you see this box? Box means order. So in the order of year 16-17, he included 6 lakhs and taxed in 16-17. So assessee filed an appeal to CETA, and CETA also gave the judgment against the assessee. CETA said, assessee, you are crying for no reason. This income should be taxed in 16-17 only. CETA also gave a judgment in favor or against. Then assessee went to ITAT, and ITAT luckily gave a judgment where ITAT was of the opinion that this is not to be taxed in 16-17. Income should be taxed in 14-15, the year when it was accrued. This was the judgment of ITAT. See this. Read the judgment. Income should be taxable in 14-15. Up till now, what was happening? Income was being attacked and taxed in 16-17. AO did that. CETA also affirmed that. But ITAT gave a different opinion. No, it should not be taxed in 16-17. It should be taxed in 14-15. Now tell me, what should be done after ITAT's judgment? The judgment has come now. Now this income should be deducted from 16-17 and it should be added in 14-15. Till now it has been added here. AO added, see, CETA also said it should be added in 16-17. But after ITAT's judgment, we will have to remove the income from 16-17. So removing the work will be done by ITAT. Because what ITAT will say, in front of me 16-17 case is going on. So I will make sure 16-17 is properly handled. So means I will remove the income from 16-17. Now putting this income in 14-15 requires touching another year. That I will not do. I will handle my year. ITAT will say I will handle my year. And in front of me, the year under appeal was 16-17. So 16-17, I will give justice to 16-17 by removing the income from that. But adding that in some other year will be requiring reopening of another year. That job will be given to AO. Again the same thing. Now AO will be said, dear AO, you have to reopen the case of 14-15. And can you imagine that order is given by ITAT in the year 25? Again AO will say, but sir, that year is very old. You are asking me to do the reopening in the year 2025 and that year is so old. It's okay. We are appeal people, and when appeal people give you the direction, don't hold on to the time limit. There is no time limit. In short, now what will happen? AO will reopen the case of 1415 and add the income of 6 lakhs in 1415. See, basically, you know what I wanted to say. Look at this properly. See, in my example, both the cases ITAD gave some judgment. Don't stick to ITAD. Huh? ITAD was just an example. It could have been High Court, Supreme Court, anyone. Basically, what I'm trying to say, listen carefully now. Let me conclude properly. CETA, ITAD, High Court, Supreme Court, their job is to give judgment to a particular person of his particular year. Their job is to give judgment of a particular year to a particular person. But sometimes the judgment will touch some other assessee or some other year. Then they have to direct reopening. So this way only two cases are possible. Either the judgment will touch another assessee or the judgment will touch another year. Both examples I have taken. And why I am so confident in the whole universe only two cases are possible? Because see, when case goes in appeal, it is a case of a particular person for a particular year. And as long as the judgment is touching that person and that year only, then reopening is not required only. It's not even their job. They have to give the judgment to that assessee for that year. But sometimes the judgment of that assessee for that year is touching some other assessee, other year. Then they have to direct the AO. So these are the only two cases. Literally by heart these two examples. Trust me, I can write it on a paper. If the paper setter wants to set a question on this, he will definitely give either example 1 or example 2. Obviously, the facts of the example will change, the figures here obviously, but these are the only two varieties of example. Conclusion, what is the moral of the story? Tell me. Generally, reopening is initiated by AO. They are interested in catching the people who are hiding the income. They initiate. And when they initiate, it's time bound. Okay. Why time bound? Because it is the AO's job only to keep a watch on who is hiding the income. So full time it is their job. So do it in time. But for appeal authority, it is not their job. Their job is to give judgment. But sometimes it might happen that they have to direct AO. Then in such case, there is no time limit. Conclusion. OT Gadar, T is over. OT Gadar, T is over. Point T is over. Okay. There was only one exception which I did. Then OT Gadar, G. नहीं वो इनकम पकड़ी गई थी ऐसे सोचो. हाँ, छुपा के भी रखा होगा, ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि एग्जैक्टली क्या होता नहीं. अपने को तो जब फील लेना है कि हाँ अपील वालों को क्या है, जजमेंट तो वाई का देना था, उस ईयर का देना था, लेकिन कोई दूसरा ईयर अफेक्ट हो गया, ऐसा हो सकता है. एग्जैक्टली तो कुछ भी हो सकता है उसे इनकम छुपाई थी, अब अचानक पकड़ा गया, तो अब सवाल उठा इसको किस ईयर में टैक्स आ जाए, उन्होंने रिसीट बेसिस पे टैक्स आ दिया उसको. जा सकता है, जा सकता है. बट सी अपने को वो ज्यादा खींचना क्यों नहीं था मेरे को, क्योंकि अपील के चैप्टर में पूरा डिटेल होगा ना. अभी तो अपने को क्या फीलिंग लेना था कि हाँ ऐसा हो सकता है कि हाँ. अभी अपना ऑब्जेक्टिव वॉज टू अंडरस्टैंड क्या अपील वाले जजमेंट तो दे रहे थे किसी का, लेकिन कोई दूसरा आदमी या दूसरा ईयर अफेक्ट हो गया तो क्या, उतना ही फील लेना. बाकी तो इस अपील की तो बहुत लंबी कहानी है, और लेकिन वो सब भी बीच में घुसा दो ना तो क्या एक्सप्लेनेशन कंफ्यूजिंग हो जाता है. तो कोई भी थॉटफुली कब क्या बात करें सोचना पड़ता है. होता है काउंटर अपील्स वगैरह होता है वो. Okay, then see, next point is what? Benefit of government. Because you know, this point says what? Whenever the case is reopened under section 147. See, the theory which is going on, it's called income escaping assessment under section 147. So whenever a case is reopened under section 147, the whole proceeding is in the benefit of government. Your assessee will not get any benefit. What did I say in 147? Proceedings. What to say? In 147 proceeding, assessee will not get any benefit. It is strictly for the benefit of government. So here, you know, there are two doubts which should come. Sir, what benefit assessee might be expecting? And why he will not get any benefit? Why your government is acting selfish? See, what I said was selfish only, na? That 147 proceeding is purely for the benefit of government. Assessee will not get any benefit. Why? And before that, why? What benefit assessee is expecting? I will explain all that, okay? But at the end, you will have to make it as a thumb rule. What? That 147 proceeding, assessee will not get any benefit. It is purely for the benefit of government. So see, let's talk with an example. See, in my example, what did I say? I had sold a property. I'm taking that same example as a base. I had sold a property. I made good amount of capital gain, but I didn't show it in my return. But government came to know. How they came to know? Through the registrar. Registrar told IT department. So they came to know, Shirish, you have hidden capital gain. So what will they do? I'm purposely repeating the procedure. What will they do? They will follow 4 steps. In step 1, they will do show cause notice under 148A. Okay. And then they will be giving me a chance to prove my innocence. And then after that, step 2, I will be asked to file the return. Let's assume I sold a property in 22-23. So I will have to file the return of 22-23. Then after I file the return, they will give a notice under 143.2 requiring me to attend the office. And see, I have attended the office and discussion was going on. In the discussion, see, this is me. I told AO, it's okay, you tax my capital gains. I agree that I didn't show capital gains that time. You tax it. I agree. But the year which you have reopened, listen carefully now. Assessee is telling AO that the year which you have reopened, in that year, I had some losses which I forgot to set off. I had some losses in the year, same year which is being reopened for the purpose of capital gain. In that year, assessee is saying I had some losses which I forgot to set off. And since I forgot to set off, I should have revised the return. But the time went. And actually I had forgotten also. I had forgotten also about that loss. But since you have touched that year, touch it properly. Touch it properly. Why only capital gain? Give me my set off, which I forgot. Then he's saying, sir, one more thing I can remember now. In that year, I forgot to claim some deduction. Actually, I had forgotten and I kept it at the back of the mind. I had forgotten only forever. But now since you have touched that year only, so give me my forgotten deduction. So these things assessee is asking, what should AO do? What will AO say, you know? Dear assessee, I have called you for you doing tax evasion. Don't expect that you will get some refund from us. You had done the cheating. Section 147 is our sword. Section sword, talwar. Okay. Section 147 is our sword to attack you. In that, don't bring your grievances. But then my grievance is genuine, sir. Your grievance might be genuine. But you had the remedy to revise the return. Why the hell you didn't revise the return? You should have revised the return. No, but that I forgot. So that's your problem. If you forget something, you have your remedy to revise the return. So use your remedy. Section 147 is our remedy to catch the assessee who is cheating. In that you cannot bring your grievances. In short, if assessee is expecting, AO will simply say sorry. And you should not feel this is unfair. Government is thinking about their side only. Not like that. Government is not behaving unfair. Government is fair. See, if it would have been like this, that assessee has no remedy for his grievances and government is looking for itself only, then we can say government is behaving selfish. It's not like that. Na? See, if you really forgot some losses to set off or some deduction you forgot, you have the chance to revise the return and you can revise your return n number of times. And if you don't revise the return, it's your problem, na? Just because we are opening that here, reopen doesn't mean it's fully open. Bring everything. Reopen doesn't mean it is fully open. We will take everything. Reopening is restricted to the escaped incomes. In short, assessee will not get this. Look at this. Deduction, etc. not claimed earlier, which you forgot earlier means in the year 22-23, which you could not claim earlier, will not be given now. Can you see the cross mark? Cross mark means it will not be entertained. Now, one more point. Look. Imagine this is assessee's reassessment. See, in section 147, sometimes it's a second time assessment. Didn't I say income escaping assessment happens when either you are not assessed only on time or you are assessed but under assessed. So under assessed case are reassessed. So let's assume in my example, assessee was already assessed in respect of the previous year 22-23. Why he is being reassessed? Because maybe some income he didn't show and government did not realize in the previous assessment. So now he is being reassessed. Na? So see, I want you to create a base of reassessment, then only my next expansion will work. So assume this is the assessment for the second time. Now you know what assessee is telling AO? Dear AO, you look such a nice and kind person. But in my previous assessment, that AO was very arrogant. See what assessee is saying? You are so nice, you are so kind. Even though I've hidden capital gain, you are talking to me so nicely. You are such a good person. God bless you. But in my previous assessment, that AO was horrible. I wanted to discuss certain things. He didn't give me a chance to discuss. I could have proved certain deduction. I could have proved some deduction and claimed the deduction. But that AO was so ruthless. He was not talking to me nicely. I was very sad. And actually, I have forgotten that instance. Actually, I had forgotten the instance. But that same year, you are reopened now. So I remember those days. How bad I was treated by that AO. So things which that AO did not discuss with me, I want you to discuss with me now. What assessee is saying? The things which that AO did not discuss with me properly, he behaved rudely. I want to discuss those things with you so that I can get my justice. So AO says here, even though you were treated ruthlessly in the previous assessment, I agree with you. You were given a bad treatment. You should have filed an appeal that time only. Because whenever you come across a bad AO, whenever you feel your assessment was badly done, you have the remedy to file an appeal. You should have filed the appeal that time. Why didn't you file? So I felt that there's no point. That's your problem. That's your problem. You didn't file the appeal earlier. Now just because I'm touching that year, you cannot bring your grievances now. Section 147 is our sword to attack you. In that you cannot bring your grievances. In English, assessee cannot re-agitate. Sorry, I'm talking English only. In proper legal language, assessee cannot re-agitate the matters which were already decided in the previous assessment because he had the remedy to file an appeal at the time of previous assessment. Repeat, assessee cannot re-agitate Re-agitate मतलब re-discuss, re-argue the matters which were already decided in the previous assessment because he had the remedy to file an appeal that time. See, in these 2 points, you know what is the difference? Here he is saying, I forgot something in the return. And here he is saying, in my previous assessment, something bad happened. See, whether you forgot something in the past days returns or in your previous assessment, something bad happened, for everything you had the remedy. Na? So if you don't use the remedy, that's your problem. Na? Now this reopening is happening. Why? It is our remedy to protect government. In this, you cannot bring your grievances. But see, at the most, assessee can get one benefit. Expenses related to the escaped incomes. See, what law says, you know, in this meeting, we can talk about escaped incomes only. So if some income you have hidden, if you can prove expenditure related to your hidden income, that you can claim. We are ready to talk about escaped incomes. We don't want to talk about any XYZ things. Next point I said, expenses related to escaped income can be claimed. You know, this was your doubt sometimes back. Let me see. For example, there was some income of 10 lakhs which you had hidden. Now you are caught. So in this meeting, assessee can say, see, I had not shown income of 10 lakhs, but trust me, to earn the income of 10 lakhs, I had incurred expense of 4 lakhs. And if assessee can prove, he will get the deduction. Because see, income when it is taxed, it should be taxed as per the principles. And what is the principles of taxation? If any income is taxable, corresponding expense, you will get the deduction. Income is taxed on net basis. Like see, my income in coaching class is what fees from student. But I am not taxed on my gross fees. No? To earn fees from my student, I have to incur expenditure, electricity bill, blah, blah, blah. So there is a principle in taxation that every income will be taxed on net basis. So in case your 10 lakhs income, escaped income is discovered, and if you can prove expenses related to that, you will get a deduction. But you know, it is not that simple. Huh? As per law, you can get. But do you think AO will be so cooperative? They will be so rigid, you know, they will say, you are bluffing. I don't believe in your expenses. Because see, once he has caught, what was my example, 10 lakhs. Once he has caught your income of 10 lakhs, he will be so rigid that I will tax 10 lakhs only. But in worst case, let's assume assessee was able to prove that there was some expenses related to that. Then he can get the deduction. But here also there is a restriction. Huh? If assessee says my expenses was 13 lakhs, means the income which I had hidden was just 10 lakhs. But to earn the income of 10 lakhs, I had spent 13 lakhs. Means he is showing more expense than the income. So if that is the case, you will not get deduction of 13 lakhs. Your deduction will be restricted to 10 lakhs only. Because this can never be believed. Because don't you think if you have hidden the income of 10 lakhs and for that you had expenditure of 13 lakhs, it is something to hide or something to show? A case where income of 10 lakhs has expense of 13 lakhs, it is something to hide or something to show? Something to show. But your assessee are hidden. So if assessee is hidden the income, that means there is something fishy. So this will never be believed by the department. See, all this knowledge you have to use. For example, you are handling your client in income escaping assessment. Be mentally prepared. At the most, how much deduction you will get to the extent of your income. You make fake bills, you do whatever. But in any case, it's not possible that your income is 10. you get deduction of 13 lakhs. This is clearly instructed in the law that in worst case, in front of income of 10 lakhs, you will get deduction of 10 lakhs only. That is also very rare. Huh? So see, this thing is one positive thing, but it is not so easy. Why did I say positive thing? It's positive from assessor's point of view. It's a good thing, that if they catch some of my income and if I can prove that to earn that income I had to incur so and so expenses. So if I can prove, so I will get the deduction. It's not that simple, but at least I can rightfully claim the deduction. It's allowed by law. But there I should keep in mind, at the most, if the hidden income is 10 lakhs, I can get deduction up to 10 lakhs, not more than that. So they are so rigid about this, they will never allow deduction of more than income. Otherwise, what will happen? They have caught you to take tax from you. And what is happening is opposite. You are taking refund from the government. That will never happen. Okay. These 3 points which I said. These 3 points. Repeat the 3 points. The deductions, etc., which you did not claim in your original returns, you cannot claim it now. Because if you forgot something in your return, you had the remedy to revise. See, forgetting something in the return, the remedy is to revise, na? Appeal comes when you are not happy with the AO's order. So, deduction which you didn't claim in your previous returns, you cannot claim now because you had the remedy to revise the return. Then, assessee cannot re-agitate the matters which were already decided in the previous assessment. Means he cannot re-discuss, he cannot re-argue the matter which were previously decided in the previous assessment, because assessee had the remedy to file an appeal in the previous assessment. And if he did not file, that's his problem. However, assessee can claim deduction for expenses related to the escaped incomes. Not any other deduction, only related to the escaped incomes. You can get the deduction, but that too restricted to the amount of income. These points are not written in the act. These points which I said right now, they are not written in the act. It was decided by Supreme Court in one famous case law, Sun Engineering Private Limited. In this case, Supreme Court gave a landmark judgment. What do you mean by landmark judgment? Famous judgment. Famous. You know why this judgment became famous? Because before this judgment in Sun Engineering Private Limited case, every time in the income tax department, people were cribbing. I want this, I forgot that, I forgot. Means this kind of discussion was repeatedly happening. So, finally when Sun Engineering case happened, Supreme Court was frustrated. You know what Supreme Court felt? People are not understanding only the real nature of section 147. That's why Supreme Court gave a detailed judgment. That's why that judgment became famous. And since it was a detailed judgment, after that there were no such fights. Till today also you will find people, what they do, what kind of people you will find. Whenever this case is reopened, they will ask for some previous thing. I forgot that thing, this thing, that thing. So still people are there. But now at least AO will keep their mouth shut by showing him Supreme Court judgment of Sun Engineering Private Limited. In short, in exam, if a point like this is tested, what will you say? This was decided by Supreme Court in the case of Sun Engineering Private Limited. This example which also I gave, that if your income was 10 lakhs and if you show your expense against that of 13 lakhs, you should not be allowed 13 lakhs. Even this was said by Supreme Court. If you see the Bare Act, nowhere these things are written. See, Act feels like what to write all this. Income escaping assessment is in the favor of department. So it is understood assessee should not get anything. Actually it's understood, but people don't understand. So Supreme Court had to make them understand by giving a detailed judgment in the case of Sun Engineering Private Limited. Actually, in this case, what happened? This company, Sun Engineering Private Limited, they had forgot to set off some loss. Their story was very short and sweet. They were actually requesting for what? What? That in that year we had some loss, we could not set off. Please give us set off. Their request was only this. But when this thing got blown out of proportion, Supreme Court had to discuss in detail. So they talked about various things like you cannot claim what you forgot, you cannot re-agitate, at the most you will get expenses. When, like for me also, if same type of doubt comes again from the student, what will I do? Forget. I will explain in detail now. That's what Supreme Court did. Okay. So this was G in Gadar. G in Gadar. Okay. See, don't lose the link. What are we doing, We are doing notes. Income escaping assessment. This theory is in 4 parts. What are the 4 parts? Meaning, condition, rough CAs, procedures, 4 steps procedure, then notes. In notes, OT Gadar. In OT Gadar, O is done, T is done, even G is done. Okay, now next alphabet is what? D. D stands for dropping of proceedings. This is a facility. Dropping is a facility where even if your escaped income is discovered by the government, they will let go. Please imagine some of my income AOS caught. Income which are hidden, which I didn't disclose in my return, he came to know. But still, he will let go. It sounds so weird. Generally, what a student should think, that if department comes to know about you hiding some income, they should tax it, they should attack on it. But here I am saying something opposite only. That even if they are coming to know about your hidden income, some undisclosed income, but they are not taxing you, they are saying let go. They are letting you go. Means the proceeding is continued or dropped. Dropped. When this will happen and why this will happen, I will explain. But you start thinking on your own first. Because directly if I start explaining, sometimes it can spoil the explanation also. Settle down and think. So, see, her answer is what? Maybe the amount is negligible. That is not the thing. There is one particular typical situation which I will explain, where it will happen that even though you have not shown some income, even though AO has come to know, but still he will let go. No. His answer is what? AO has taken the bribe, and after taking the bribe, let go. That is correct. Answer is perfectly right, but that is unofficial answer. Right now, I am explaining the official law. In the law, they cannot write this, na? Yes, unofficially it's correct. That even if they have caught me, but if I give some bribe, he will let go. But that is unofficial method of letting go, na? So see, officially how it will happen, look. Sometimes the department feels that you have already been overtaxed. An assessee is already overtaxed. More than what he was liable for. He has already paid. Although you have hidden the income. The person who is hiding the income should have definitely paid less, na. Generally, if you come to know, oh, you have hidden the income. Hidden the income means he should have paid less tax. But in spite of he hiding the income, sometimes it is possible that he has overpaid the tax. How it is possible? Let me talk with example now. Look, with example only it will be clear. Let's assume in 21-22, when assessment was done, an order was passed under section. If there was an assessee whose order was passed under section 143.3. What is 143.3? Regular assessment. Means maybe there was some assessee who filed a return and he was immediately caught. Why I'm saying immediately? Then only we can say regular assessment. Huh? So he was immediately caught and his order was passed like this. See, net profit of 2 lakhs, 4 lakhs was added back as disallowed expense. Wait, what is this add back 4 lakhs? You know, net profit means what? Net profit means net. And generally what happens, assessee will net off everything. But in this scrutiny, maybe there was some expenditure on which they were arguing. And in the argument, AO said, no, I don't allow this expenditure. Huh? You have netted off, I will add back. So AO added back. See, why I have to write add? Because net means after cutting every expenditure. But there was one expenditure of 4 lakh which AO felt it's not proper. So what he did, he added back. And then the income of 6 lakhs, income of 2 lakhs became 6 lakhs and order was passed. But you know one thing, this 4 lakhs which was disallowed, it was wrongly disallowed. Means actually it should have been allowed. Means in the net profit there was several expense, na? So that 4 lakhs also AO should have allowed. But he disallowed. Maybe AO was not having proper knowledge. And even assessee was not having that knowledge. See, sometimes you know what should happen with something. People do not have knowledge, na? Lack of knowledge can happen. And sometimes AO can torture also. So see, what was the reason for doing this wrong thing? Let's not go into that. Maybe AO was having a different opinion, different thinking, so he disallowed. And assessee also accepted it. Maybe he was not having detailed knowledge about what expenditure should be allowed, what is not allowed. So due to this, you know, eventually what happened? Tell me at the end what happened. The expenditure was disallowed and it was wrong. Huh? And see, I am not saying that assessee feels wrong. It's actually wrong. Anyone on this earth can accept this was wrong. Means I am not saying it's debatable. See, sometimes the things are debatable. I feel it's wrong. You might feel right. It was not even like that. It was straightforward wrong. And this assessee tolerated. Why I am saying tolerated? Where is profit of 2 lakhs? He had to pay tax on 6 lakhs. This happened. And assessee did not even file an appeal. Because he was not having the knowledge only. He didn't even file the appeal and the case was closed. This is past. Huh? I am talking about past only. Now comes the current year. In our exam, what is our year? You are appearing in May 26, September 26 or Jan 27. Our year is what? 25-26. See, what happened in 25-26? AO discovered some escaped income of 1,50,000 and it was interest income. How did AO come to know about your escaped income? How do they come to know? From rough CAs. See, whenever I ask you how they come to know about me hiding the income, obviously from rough CAs. So from rough CAs, by some method, he came to know that I had hidden interest income 1,50,000. And this income pertains to the same year for which I had faced injustice. What injustice was there here? 4 lakhs was wrongly added back, na? So the year where I faced the injustice, in respect of that year only, some escaped income was caught by AO. So now tell me, when the escaped income is caught by AO, what will AO do? He will follow the 4 steps. No, escaped income he discovered from rough CAs. Now he will follow 4 steps. Now help me in the 4 steps. Step 1, notice under 148A, show cause notice. Then notice under 148, file the return. Notice under 143 to attend the office. Then he will pass the order. So that procedure started in the step 1 only. The step 1 only. When I will be given a show cause notice, I will say, I agree that I have hidden interest income of 1,50,000, but I want you not to reopen my case, drop my case. You will say, why? Why should I drop? You have hidden income of 1,50,000 and you agree also you have hidden the income and you want me to drop your case? I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. See, this income pertains to 21-22. In that year, I had already suffered an injustice because of which the income which was 2 lakhs was taxed at 6 lakhs. So I'm already overtaxed. See, if that injustice wouldn't have happened, look at this, huh? Assessee showing a rough work. Assessee, see this discussion is happening in step 1. Step 1, show cause notice. The discussion, assessee is making some rough work. See the rough work? You understood the rough work? Assessee is saying, if that injustice wouldn't have happened, my actual profit was 2 lakhs only. Okay? It means assessee is telling AO, for the timing, just listen to me. Just listen to me. I know what you are going to say, but let's listen to me. That if that injustice wouldn't have happened, my profit was only 2 lakhs. And if I would not have hidden the income, I would have honestly shown the income, my income would have been at the most 3.5 lakhs. But dear, I am already taxed on 6 lakhs. In real scenario, the real honest scenario, my income would have been only 3.5 lakhs. But I have not paid tax on 3.5, I have paid on 6 lakhs. That's why I am saying to drop me. And assessee will say, I am not even expecting a refund. I also know the case law of Sun Engineering Private Limited. I also know the case law of Sun Engineering Private Limited, where it was decided that what has happened in past cannot change. Assessee cannot re-agitate. I am not re-agitating. I am not even saying that this 4 lakh which you disallowed, allow me now. I also know what has happened. Past is dead. But based on that, have some feeling that because of that injustice, I was already taxed on 6 lakhs. Whereas my honest income is only 3.5. So listening to this facts, you will drop your case. See, you also don't think I am contradicting with what I said in the previous thing, huh? See, in the previous thing, that Sun Engineering Private Limited, what did I say? What happened in past cannot change. If something happened bad with you, you should have filed the appeal. Didn't I say some time back? So I am still maintaining my stand. Assessee, what bad is suffered? 4 lakhs was wrongly added. He is not even pleading that correct it. He is not re-agitating that. But based on that, he has got one point of sympathy. That what you wanted from me, you already got from me. You wanted, actually, so you wanted tax on 3.5 lakhs, na? But you got the tax on 6 lakhs. So what you wanted, you already got, na? Please leave me. Actually, you don't have to plead. This is given in the law. It is the right of the assessee to claim dropping. If he can prove that he has already been taxed more than what he was rightly liable for, that you have to prove. But you know, here, to prove this thing means, first my big headache will be to convince that this was wrong. In practical life, when you handle such case, you know, the moment you say, in 21-22, the year for which you came to know about my escaped income, something wrong happened, he will not believe only in that. He will say, what wrong happened? It was right only. You people think everything is wrong only. Nothing was wrong. Here only the argument will start. But that will handle in real life. For the time being, as a student, assume that AO was also going to, yes, I agree, yaar. this was something wrong happened with you. If assessee can prove that because of that wrong thing I was overtaxed, then dropping is possible. But it sounds so simple when I'm discussing in the class. Practically, you will face challenge. Because the moment you tell AO that I was wrongly taxed on this, it should not be 6 lakhs, I should have been taxed on 2 lakhs only, he will not believe. These people, they behave so rude. No, we don't agree on that. So people will not cooperate so much. But in case, let's assume the AO was also kind and cooperative and he also understood, yes, I agree, this was something wrong with happened with you. So then I will be able to claim dropping. You know what is the advantage of dropping? This thing which happened will never change. But 1.5 lakhs which was planned to be taxed will not be taxed. Look at this. Tell me, if dropping was not available in the law, imagine what would have happened. Is if the proceeding was not dropped, it was continued by the AO. Then what would have happened? Then AO would have passed the order. See how the order would have looked. Imagine for the time being, if dropping facility was not available in the law, then what would have happened? Order under section 147 will be passed. And tell me, whenever 147 order is passed, what happens, previous thing is copied and pasted. Copy paste. My previous explanation of, didn't I say past income? Past income is taken as the base, na? So here tell me, what was the past income decided? 6 lakhs. So see, this thing is copy paste from past. Copy paste. In addition, they have discovered 1,50,000 interest income hidden by you. They will add it. And if they add it, now my tax will be on 7.5 lakhs. See, I am making you feel the benefit. Thank God this order will not be passed. Means my 6 lakhs thing has not changed. At least this 1.5 is saved. If government would not have been so kind, they would have rudely taxed my 1.5 also, ignoring what happened with me in the past. So see, there is a thin line of difference between this last explanation and here. See, if you don't notice properly, you will find it confusing. See, here what did I say? You cannot re-agitate means what? In past, if something bad has happened, that bad cannot change. So I am maintaining that point. Na? See, where I am changing that bad thing, it is remaining the same only. Na? But imagine this 1.5 they would have taxed. I would have paid extra tax. But I am lucky that government has made law of dropping. So dropping means what? See, this order will not be passed. See, why did I draw? I just wanted to explain my students that if order was passed, then imagine your 1.5 lakhs would have been taxed. But thanks to the rule of dropping, this order will not be passed. But I am making one change, you try now. What if this 1.5 lakhs was 10 lakhs? I am changing the amount. See, here the income which assessee had hidden was only 1.5. It was so less compared to the injustice he suffered. Come on. In the example of 1.5, the income which you had hidden, it was only 1.5. Na? It was less compared to the injustice of 4 lakh. See, 4 lakhs is the injustice. Something wrong which happened with you. And 1.5 is something wrong which you did. But my wrongdoing was less than wrong happening with me. So I deserve sympathy, na? Now try this example. Imagine in 25-26, AO comes to know from rough CAs. AO comes to know from rough CAs that your interest income was 10 lakhs, which you didn't declare, which you didn't show. Now we will start the 4 steps procedure. In this step 1, show cause notice. Assessee will try to plead, give me dropping, give me dropping. He will not get dropping. Why? See, dropping is available when you can prove that I am already overtaxed, which was there in example 1. Here, can you prove that you are overtaxed? You are undertaxed. Because see, imagine this rough work you make in second situation. Tell me, if a assessee shows some rough work on a paper, see AO, my actual profit was only 2 lakhs. 2 lakhs means if that injustice would not have happened, my actual profit was only 2 lakhs. And if I would not have hidden the income, I would have shown 10 lakhs. My real income was 12 lakhs. So 12 lakhs is what? It's more than what you have been taxed. You are taxed only on 6 lakhs. Whereas your real income is 12 lakhs. Even if we assume this injustice didn't happen, even if we consider roughly that your income should have been 2 lakhs only, but 2 plus 10, so your profit should have been 12. But where you pay tax on 12? You paid only on 6 lakhs. Now I will not get the dropping. So in such case, what you will say? You don't deserve dropping because what wrong happened with you is less than what wrong you did. Net effect, you are a wrongdoer. You understand my language? See, what wrong happened with you, happened means 4 lakhs, is less. And what wrong you did is more. So, in net effect, you are a wrongdoer. And such wrongdoers don't have sympathy. So, we will not drop your case. Tell me if the case is not dropped, the order will be cancelled or it will be passed. It will be passed. And now if the order is passed, you know how it will be passed? First, copy paste. One for this an order, how do you pass? First, you have to copy paste the past things. So, how the case was closed in past? It was closed at 6 lakhs. In that, your hidden income will be added 10 lakhs. And now your new income will be 16 lakhs. On 16 lakhs, tax will be calculated and whatever you paid earlier will be adjusted. Balance will be demanded. See, here many students are asking, sir, I did wrong of not showing 10 lakhs. To the extent of 4 lakh, they should excuse me. It's not like that. See, what law says, if we let go, we'll fully let go. But if we catch you, we'll fully catch you. There is nothing like partly. Understood? See, if we let go, we'll let go. Okay. But if we don't feel like letting go, if we want to catch you, then we'll fully catch your escaped income. You had hidden the income of 10 lakhs, we will not leave you, we will tax 10 lakhs. And regarding the past thing, will become very rude now. That is past, it cannot be changed. It will remain as it is. Why the hell you hid your hidden income of 10 lakhs, will tax that. This here there is no concept of partly. Otherwise students are thinking, so to the extent of this 4 lakhs injustice, they should have some soft corner. No. Government is not that kind hearted also. See, once your wrongdoing is more compared to the injustice, then you are net effect a wrongdoer only. And for a wrongdoer, whatever wrong you did, it will be punished. Means whatever 10 lakhs you had hidden, it will be taxed. See, actually it is either or means there are 2 cases I made. So actually tell me, what are the conditions for dropping? Means I want you to make a rule that when dropping is possible. See, correct. See, precisely look here. Look. In the law, they have given the condition. First condition of what they have said. Something wrong happened with you. Condition 1. Something wrong happened with you. Wrong happened means something which was not supposed to be taxed. It was taxed. See, this is a basic condition because see, if everything happened properly with you and on the top of that we come to know you have hidden the income, then so you are a liar, you are a cheater only, no? So condition 1 says what? The year for which the income is caught now. In that particular year, something wrong happened. Condition 1 by heart. Second condition, assessee should not have filed an appeal. Against this wrong happening, assessee should not have filed an appeal. This is a condition. What is the logic of this condition that you should not have filed the appeal? I will explain. Let me finish the last condition. Third condition, the amount of escaped income should be less compared to the injustice. These are the three conditions. Tell me, what is the logic of second condition? That against this injustice, assessee should not have filed the appeal. So now see, firstly, appeal happens when this you will come to in the chapter appeal. As soon as some injustice happens, you have to file an appeal in 30 days. Don't worry about this 30 days knowledge. I am not expecting from you. Our next chapter is appeals only. But I had to speak this because her doubt was something on that lines. Means her answer was something on that lines. So see, firstly keep in mind, on this injustice, if assessee wanted to appeal, he should have filed the appeal in 30 days. But what condition says you should not have filed the appeal? Because see, if assessee would have filed the appeal, there are two outcomes. Either assessee would have won the case or lost the case. If he would have won the case, injustice would have anyways cancelled. If assessee would have lost the case, that means it was no more injustice. Why someone loses a case? Because his case is bad. Then you cannot say something wrong happened with me, something wrong. Something wrong excuse you can give when you didn't fight. You fight, you lose the case. Then you don't have a base to say it was wrong. No. Losers cannot say wrong. Okay. So see, what law says, if you would have filed a case, so there are two outcomes. Either you would have won the case or lost the case. If you would have won the case, then injustice would have become justice. And if you would have lost the case, then how can you say it was an injustice? And here I have to prove some injustice happened with me. So in short, see, condition 1, something wrong happened, some injustice happened with me. And see, injustice can be anything. I took an example of expenditure wrongly disallowed. It could have been something else. There was some income which was wrongly taxed. Like I received subsidy from government. I received subsidy from government which shouldn't have been taxed, but it was taxed. I am purposely changing the example. What I want to say, be flexible. First condition says something wrong happened. Precisely what? It can be anything. Something wrong happened because of which you paid more tax. Second condition, you should not have filed appeal against that wrong thing. Third condition, the amount of escaped income should be less than or equal to the amount of injustice which you faced. If all these three conditions are satisfied, you can always claim dropping of proceedings. And this you have to actually claim in step 1. 4 steps procedure. So when step 1 happens, show cause notice, you will be said, na, tell me why your case should not be reopened. So I will say, This is the reason you should not reopen. Because I deserve dropping, so please don't reopen. So in that step 1 meeting only, you have to convince him. What you will convince? 3 conditions. That in that year I had faced some injustice, I did not file the appeal, and the escaped income which you have caught, the escaped income should be related to that same year. The escaped income which you have caught, it is less than or equal to the injustice amount. So if you can prove all this, you will be left. See, even if this amount was exact 4 lakhs, coincidentally, means injustice amount was also 4 lakhs and escaped income also 4 lakhs, then also you will be dropped. But your escaped income is greater than the injustice which you suffered, then you will not get the dropping. And if you are not dropped, you will be fully taxed. Full 10 lakhs will be taxed. Tell me, on this, how will you calculate the tax? Tell me the tax calculation on this. Tell me here, what is the final income? 16 lakhs, na? So first we will calculate tax on 16 lakhs. And then whatever you paid earlier on 6th, it will be deducted and you have to pay the balance. That I told you, no? But which rate you will apply? Tax rate. See, reopening is happening in 25-26. But the tax rates will be of 25-26 or the respective year. Respective year. See, although the reopening proceedings is happening in 25-26, but reopening is of which year? 21-22. So if the year only is 21-22 for which the income pertains to, obviously the rate of tax will be of that year. This is my next point. In Gadar R, OT Gadar R, rate of tax is the rate applicable to the relevant AY. Rate applicable to the current year or that year? That year. So finally OT Gadar is over. You understood this dropping? See, in the law, you know how they have written. Let me once say in legal language. See, assessee can claim. Please try to understand the language because this is what is printed in my book also. See, the same thing I am narrating in a proper legal English. See, assessee can claim for dropping if he can prove that he has already been assessed on an amount 6 lakhs. If he can prove that he has already been assessed on an amount which is more than equal to what he would have been rightly liable for. If he can prove that he has already been assessed on an amount which is more than or equal to what he would have been rightly liable for if the assessment was properly done with the escaped income, provided he did not oppose the original assessment order. Means he should not have filed the appeal. This is the actual version in the act. But you can remember informally 3 conditions satisfy dropping. Okay. Condition 1, injustice should have happened. Second, you didn't file the appeal. Third, the amount of escaped income should be less than or equal to the amount of injustice. Casually you can remember like this, but in the actual act, what was the wording I just said right now? Okay. So see, finally our this thing is also over. Uti Gadar, that was the last thing. But I have to still explain you section wise. See, till now I have not gone in a proper sequence of sections. That I will do it in the next lecture in the form of a summary. I will give you a proper section wise summary that will be one kind of recap also. Along with the recap, sections will also be informed to you. But take your homework and go. Every lecture ritual is homework. Question number 10 is homework. 11 is homework. Wait, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's it. 10, 11, 12, 13. 10, 11, 12, 13. Please do this 4 sums for homework. Revise and come. Revise and come. Please revise and come. Please do the homework and come. Please do the homework and video lecture students. Please do the homework and then only start the another video. Okay. Please revise and come. Underline please.